Live.
We're live.
Hello. Hello and thanks for joining.
Because we don't have a kind of wee intro thing anymore. And there's a sort of production reason for that. It's because it's coming for the laptop and I've not transferred it for the other computer over. I mean,
Right.
who gives a fuck?
Oh, I don't know. I quite like the intro.
Well, to be fair, I like the intro as well. But what we're talking about, do you remember the plan I had? It was Cam and I would film a kind of whole big intro sequence round through Glasgow and then arriving here at the studio. We'll get that done. We will do
Well,
that.
see when I leave here at night, see the road that you go, you jump back on the M8. It's
Aye.
perfect for a wee
London
video.
Road. You
You fly down, around, up and round,
Past
and then
the police station.
It's a brilliant road because you come under the road before you're under the bridge thing.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah. Right, it's episode 21 of
Episode
Social
21.
Media Ruins Everything. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. If you're listening to this in your car, walking the dog, having a wank, a shite, or at the gym, whatever it is that you're
What are they
doing.
going to be having a wank? What are they going to be doing? Watches? Oh, you're fucking beauty.
No, audio podcast listeners. Audio is much more erotic.
Oh, aye.
Apparently.
I don't know if you sound erotic. Maybe.
Well,
Actually, write in. Just drop a comment if
if you find
ever
this
done that.
erotic, if
If you've ever ejaculated while listening, please
Yep.
tell us.
Yep. Thank you for being a masturbating listener and a just regular listener, a shitting listener, a dog walking listener, whatever it is that you do while you're listening to us. Some people give us 2 bites of the cherry, Neil. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, okay.
Some people, in fact, 3 bites. It's a big cherry. They watch the live. They then watch it on YouTube again, and they listen to the podcast.
Well, that's pretty good.
Commitment.
That's pretty good. The first porno website that I ever went on was called Cherry Pie.
Aye.
Actually, yep.
Aye.
And it would take ages loading up. We'd
Right.
sit in the room and it's fucking and it's going up. But there was no video.
Just shots of
It was just
Pie.
pictures. No, it was just there was no
Pictures
video
of
back
pie.
then. Pictures of pies, aye. Pies and tits. But there was no video back then. You believe how much it's changed?
Yeah, it's
what
true.
kids have got now?
Aye.
Fucking hell.
On their phones as well.
Every day, 24 hours.
They
That's
definitely try to find an old scud book in the bushes next to the golf
a
course.
nature. We found a naturist one. That was the one we had. So it was like older people, you know, like over 40 nature, because nobody under 40 is a naturist.
Do you want me
so
to tell you my story about the naturists?
Aye.
So years ago when I first started with digital photography, I was still a window cleaner, and I knew that one of my customers who lived in this big house in Lenzie was a photographer. And I think that one of the reasons I knew that was I saw him setting up in one of the bedrooms in his big house for a photograph shoot, and the young model wearing sort of lacy negligee being in there. So I'm cleaning the window.
This window's really dirty.
I
I'm
know,
going to spend
just
some time on this.
20 minutes to do this one, mate. How much longer are you going to be setting the fucking lights up, man? So I knew he was a photographer, so I remember speaking to him one time and saying, look, could I come round and just sort of pick your brains and stuff like that? And I'd taken some pictures, so I took them round and he kind of gave me a bit of critique and all that. And he was brand new, he was an older guy, he was retired, just him and his wife. And I think he used to be a bank manager. And then he says, I'll show you my little dark room, my little photography room. So he took me around his kitchen.
Take your
and there
pants
was,
off before you come in, please.
Aye, it wasn't far off, man. It wasn't quite as bad as your Viagra story, right enough. But anyway, there was a wee room off the kitchen, and he'd got a computer in there, and then like shelves, loads of shelves with the things that hold negatives, you know, and then
Women's
loads-
heads in jars.
But then he's going out and he's like looking through for the photo album. He's pulling photo albums off, and then starts showing me photographs of his missus when she was younger in the full scud in the woods.
Brilliant.
Him,
As well,
Him.
naked.
but with his arm round like naked models that he's been photographing. And what was disturbing was like he was a bit older in the picture, so it's like couldn't have been taken that long ago.
Aye.
Completely shaved. Completely shaved.
Oh, aye.
Fucking the sort of skinned and plucked dead chicken between his legs.
Male grooming.
Aye. So that was
fucking
and then I
funny.
remember speaking to one of his neighbours over the back, and she's saying, "Oh, they're a fucking nightmare. The two of them wandering about
Always
their
shaggy.
garden in the scud. No, they were older. They were in their late 60s, early 70s, but they were naturists, so they would just wander about their garden. And she goes, "I'll get my kids out, and the kids out in the gardens. The two of them wandering about in the scud
It's pretty funny, a naturist that lives in like
in the middle of a housing
the
estate.
middle of a housing estate with no fence.
We'd expect them up your way.
Yeah, no, well, there's an island. There's an island on Inchmund's got a naturist
Really?
colony, but Lewis says they're fucking horrible. Like, because
It's not even good naturists.
Nah, it's his mates who have the island in it, and he goes over. He says, "Not nice."
Nothing worth
No, I
seeing.
see the pulling down photo albums. We were in a job once, and this guy Reg. And he drove a Vauxhall Frontera. Remember the Vauxhall Frontera, the Jeep?
Yeah.
But he drove that, and he was like, "Hey, you want to see some of my photos, boys?" And we're like, "Aye, all right, we'll have a look." So he's flipping through. So that's my driveway there. It's like and he says, "I photoshopped out these things, you know, and it makes it look such a better picture, you know." And he's flipping over and he says, "Yeah, that's the car that we bought my daughter there, you know. She's a great, never gives us any hassle. She's great." And he flipped over and he sees this woman naked. I was like, "Oh, fuck, a naked woman, Reg, check that." And he goes, "That's my wife there, yeah." And I'm like, "What? It's your wife?" I'm looking at Ross like, "The fuck, that's his wife, man." Like I was asking other workies. I'm like, "His wife?" I'm like, "Is this normal?" And they're like, "Oh, that's funny." I'm like, "It's his fucking wife."
It's not right. It isn't right.
But it was on a building site. We had a fucking portfolio just showing us. It was at tea time. Just I'm going to take that to work tomorrow and show
Was
the
he a
boys.
budding photographer, or was he just
No,
a
I think he was
weirdo?
a photographer.
Right,
Aye, he supposedly was hard as fuck. Like in the town, he says he used to drink.
Right.
And he was just really hard. He was known as a hard man, and
Aye.
people used to come to his door and chat and say, "I heard you're the hardest guy in the town." And then he'd fight with him in the front garden.
Do you believe stories like that?
I believe that. Aye, did you reckon that?
I can't imagine.
But
Just, where does that hard cunt live? It's 52
Okay,
Elm Road.
Shannon,
50. You went to fucking 48. It's 52. Right? I'm away to see him. Bang, 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 bang. All right, mate, how can I help you? Are you the fucking hard cunt? I think I could take you. Mate, it's 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night, man. I'm trying to get the kids to sleep.
But that's, now that you say it, maybe he was lying, but I don't know, because he wasn't even a fighter. He was like, because I was like, "What, were you solid or that?" He says, "It was okay. I could hold my own in that, you know." Like, "Oh, good."
Just fight dirty.
Aye, but I don't know. Maybe it was just a bullshit story. I mean, I don't know if you can really rely on the
Do you know,
guy's
hate
thing.
when that happens, but because you've probably told that
Oh, I
story a
thought-
few times,
I thought he
and then
was-
somebody's went, "I don't know," and they quote, and then you're like, "Oh fuck,
Then you're like,
have
maybe
I
not."
believed a lie all these
Aye.
years?" Because I did for 36 of years of my life.
Nah, maybe he's no, man. Maybe he wasn't. But aye, maybe he wasn't. He always pops into my head, man. Reg, I'm like, fucking hell, Reg.
That is a hard man's name, though, isn't it?
He wasn't even a hard man. He was just like a normal guy. Like if you met him, you'd think he's maybe like the manager in the local Indians, you know, like the fancy Indians that you can sit down. That was it. He wasn't like a hard nut or that. But I wouldn't have liked to fight him.
I don't know.
Cause he was the hardest guy in fucking in Linwood.
Reputation. Linwood.
Or it was
Fuck's
Linwood
sake.
or Houston, one of the two. My mum used to have a pub in Linwood.
Really?
The Heritage Bar as you drive in.
Aye.
The big one, you know where Tesco is now? Well, if you've not been to Linwood in a while.
I've not been there
There's
a
a big
long time.
Tesco, but as you drive down off the roundabout, straight through, take the right to go along into Linwood, you've got the shops. It was a big pub across from there.
So she owned it.
Aye, well, I mean, whatever.
the leasehold, whatever it's called, aye.
She had a few pubs, she had a couple, aye.
Was your mum a bit of a gangster?
No, she wasn't a gangster, but she had a pub in Rutherglen, the Bank Inn, which was behind the main street, Rutherglen Main Street, it's behind there. And that was kind of rough. And I don't know, I'll probably say their names and they'll be listening, they'll come and do me or that. But there was like a family, I think the Dochertys are at for Rutherglen, and they went in, and my mum was like a single parent at the time. They went in and says, "You know, we can look after this place for you, just if anything goes wrong." And then my mum says, "Right, listen, this is my livelihood and I'm a single parent, so I'm not having any of that here." And the guy who says, "I respect that," and then shook her hand and then fucked off, and that was it. And then they were fine for there. So she's
cool.
hard, you know what I mean? But she's not like a gangster, she's just a hard worker, you know?
She would have known Janie Godley back in the day then, because she was a fellow publican.
Well, maybe. Maybe they all know each other.
They
Maybe.
go to the conference, the annual publican conference in the SEC.
Aye, maybe.
Where they go to get demos of new bar mats and coasters and stuff.
I don't remember. Well, do you see back in the day, you used to get T-shirts and all that. You used to get the, like tenants T-shirts. They used to give you all this free shit.
Aye.
Because I think what they used to do, they used to give you all that shit for free if you take their booze,
Aye.
But
I remember wanting
now.
to get beer towels when I was starting out window cleaning because they were good for wiping the cells down.
Aye.
You get the beer towels and it was a bit cooler than just cutting up an old bath towel for the house, you know what I mean? But you don't get, do you even get beer towels anymore?
I don't even know if you get beer towels. I don't even know if the pub thing's the same anymore. I think
because of the COVID.
She finished up. She got out it when it's a few years ago now, man. It must be like fucking 10 years. I don't even know. Maybe not even 10 years. Who knows? But she got out when it was just like, see, community pubs are not a thing anymore.
No.
They're not a thing. It's all like a Weatherspoons or whatever the fuck it is.
There's a few out. There's the Red Bray and there's the Chase.
The Red Bray's actually got there's loads of folk that go into the Red Bray.
Oh,
just
aye.
all old.
It's
old
pretty
old
good.
stuff.
That's an
See,
old
all
traditional
the old guys used to go in and they would come in the morning and they were funny. They're all funny old guys.
Aye.
They would have a joke, have a whiskey or whatever, and then back up the road. But they used to go in because it was warm, because it was cheaper sitting in there and having a laugh than sitting themselves. They guys die out. You know what I mean?
At the Red Bray, it's there's a fierce pool community that plays.
Aye.
It's like my mate, he's quite good at pool, and he'll go in and he'll play these older guys. And he was playing this older guy once, and he was like, right, if you beat me, I'll buy you something to drink, and vice versa.
Aye.
So the guy beats my mate, and then he says it, and then my mate's like, well, what do you want to drink then? And he says something like, I'll have a screwdriver or something. And he's like, a what? Oh, vodka and orange. It's a vodka and fucking orange. It's funny,
That's it, man. No, the pool thing and the pool thing in community pubs is a big deal. They had a pool team where she was, and the guys were like, we're getting a new pool. There's a brilliant pool table in it, and the guys like, can we get it refelted with this like professional thing? And me and Ross are like, the guys. It was like fucking maybe 700 quid or near 1,000 quid to refelt this thing with this professional. I'm like, the guys don't fucking know any different who play here, man.
There was a guy.
That's a flex.
There was a guy at the Red Bray once. Me and my friend went in a bit later on, and there was two folk playing in there, and there was this other guy he'd never seen in there before, and he was smoking a fucking fag inside, right? And he's sitting. The camera won't be able to pick it up, right? But he's sitting and he's going, whoa, man, watching these two other guys play, smoking this fag, and he's like getting so into it, man.
Immersed.
It gets chucked out because he's smoking the fag, comes back in, plays, and he's fucking shit. It's just like, he was like walking around the table, man. It was fucking
thinking the shots up, laying it down for the angles. Now, my brother was really good at pool, man. He used to play the guys in the pub and he beat them all, man. And he was like just a young teenager. He had like a Jimmy White pool cue, man.
Never get any hassle for being young though and beating older guys.
It was all right. It was kind of all right. They were all right because he was just, you know what I mean? He'd play like a Saturday afternoon when the football was on, when they were busy or that. The guys would play him at a game and that. But
so he'd had his own cue.
He'd his own cue. You know the ones that come in half. He ended up like nearly breaking a guy's arm to see the. He was only maybe 13 years. No, maybe 12 years old. And some guy was giving him hassle, and then he went into the house, pulled out the fat end of the pool cue and chased the guy.
Really?
The mum came round to the house. He's our bloody animal. She's our animal. And we're like, the fuck he was giving his cheek.
Your mum's like, listen, I'm a single mother. I'm just my venture. Fuck off.
Aye. But nah, man, pool's good, man. Pubs were good, man. Remember, I was watching Twins the other night. See Twins, the film, and the woman was smoking in the shopping centre. And like a canasta or what American whatever it is, she was. And do you used to be able to smoke in Asda?
I don't see why you wouldn't be. I mean,
people smoked everywhere.
Remember when I was young, Mum and Dad would go to Littlewoods and they would go to the cafe in Littlewoods, and there was smoking in the non-smoking section. And the non-smoking section was like 2 tables. The whole rest of the kind of cafe restaurant was smoking.
So if you were a non-smoker, you were the fucking weirdo.
You were the weirdo, but you were surrounded by the smoke anyway. Exactly. Aye. So maybe you could smoke. I mean, not being able to smoke in pubs is just stupid.
I like the smell. And people say, I like the smell.
It was something about a night out and you'd pick your clothes up for the floor in the following morning.
It was stinking.
And you were stinking of smoke, but you knew it'd been we'd had a good night out.
Hopefully you never was sick or shit yourself in as they were really smelly.
Well, we've got a question, query and conundrum on shitting yourself that we'll get to in a wee bit, which is quite a good one. I might tell a story about what happened to me this morning, but it's not really, I don't really like talking about that kind of stuff.
This morning, so soon?
I walking the dog and like, fuck, I need to get back up the road now.
Should you get the wee poo bag though? Just shit and pick it up in the poo bag.
That's a shout, no. But then I was worried that the dog would come over and be hassling me. Like, what the fuck is he doing? What?
Do I need to pick this up? Do I need to pick this up and put this cunt in the
I'll
lead?
pick yours up. I fucking sure turn to pick mine up, boy. Aye, the poor wee dog gets his walk severely curtailed.
Oh man. That's funny.
See, I was just going to say, the funniest thing about that guy smoking in the pub was we'd sat down, we'd ordered a pint, and just I looked over and just double taked because that must have been one of the first times I've ever seen someone smoke in a pub.
Oh, how long ago would that have been?
Just
before COVID, kind of thing.
No, this was like maybe 2 months ago.
Or right, aye.
Because
he's not been in pubs when they've smoked.
Aye, of course.
But it was weird, right? Because I just sort of looked over and like, that guy's smoking a cigarette. That guy's smoking a fucking cigarette.
What?
I was like, here, Robbie, look at the fucking state of this guy.
Did you grass him up?
No, we were just sitting laughing, and then all of a sudden, like the bar staff behind.
You can't be doing that, mate. You can't be doing that.
But the guy just sort of had that. Come on.
What?
Aye.
Fucking hell, man.
It's one of the things, isn't it? It's like, come on, it's like not wearing a mask. It's like, oh, come on, man.
Well,
it's not doing any difference.
You arrived here, you had a mask on, was that a gag?
Aye, it was in my pocket.
Right.
So I just put it on. I don't know why I had it.
Scared of that Omnicom.
Aye, the Omnicron.
Whatever it is, man.
Omicron. It's interesting with Omicron that it's obviously they're following the Greek alphabet, right? But they missed out Xi, which just so happens to be the Chinese fucking dictator dude's name, Xi.
Oh, so that's what they're doing?
They skipped that.
Just because
it'd be offensive to China. Because remember Donald Trump called it the China virus, and he was asked, why are you calling it the China virus? Because it came from China. And they quickly knocked all that in the head, didn't they?
Aye.
China flu.
The China flu. Well, I seen people calling it the Kung flu, which I thought was really funny when I heard it at first. I was like, that's funny.
How is that racist?
I don't know if it's racist, is it?
Because Kung Fu's a fucking thing.
Aye.
Right, that originated from China.
Aye.
All you're doing is slightly changing one word.
I don't even know if there's anybody in China. I don't know if it's a real... I don't think there's anybody... I think it's a fake country. It's just a fake country. It's just a place and that's it.
Chinese people are quite racist. Not all of them, but the Chinese can be quite racist.
Oh, aye.
And in China, they're quite proud of being Chinese, and
you wouldn't want to see if they were cheeky to you and racist. You wouldn't want to fight them because they all know karate.
They all know kung fu.
Yep.
I get stung for a lot of money when I was on the Great Wall of China. It was one day we went to, it was like a UNESCO heritage site.
Little white man, I take your money.
Well, I tell you, man. Aye, so we'd been on the wall.
I think you're a big man.
So we'd come off the wall, right, and I was just completely done. It was it was like 33 degrees. It was just a tough day. So we come off the wall, and some of the guys were sitting at, there was a kind of pub, a bar or whatever, they were sitting outside with a couple of beers. So I went and was sitting with them, and I was looking about. But because it was a tourist part of the Great Wall of China, there was stalls selling souvenirs. So I was like, well, I'm going to need to get stuff to take back for the kids. This is a good enough time. So I went over, and I'm like, that, right, take that panda, I'll take that Chairman Mao t-shirt, I'll take that fucking communist hat, a couple other bits and pieces. And then, but there's no prices, right? So then it's like, you say how much, and they pull out a calculator, and they go, do, and they type it up and all that. So she showed me a price, right? And let's say it was 2,000, whatever, 2,000 yen or whatever. I was like, no. So I lowballed her, and she came back with 1,600. So I was like, right, 1,600. But I'd completely miscalculated the exchange rate to the power of 10.
So you paid fucking 300 quid for a magnet saying I love China.
It was close to 200 quid, right? And it wasn't until I'd agreed and she's put all the stuff in the bag and I'm starting to give the money, I was like, oh fuck, I've fucked the price up.
That would fucking
I knew
keep
how
our
much
family going for a long time.
So this is what happened, right? So it's as I'm pulling the yen out and I'm like, oh wait a minute, it's not 160, it's 1,600. And then she starts going, you give me more money, you give me more money. So I'm standing my wallet open, and we'd been
fuck you up.
advised. Well, aye, that's what I was worried about. So she spots I had US dollars because we were advised to bring US dollars. So I had about 150 US dollars. So she sees that, swipes that clean right out my wallet, and still shouting, "You give me more money, you give me more money."
I'd have knocked her out.
So she fucking cleaned me out. I had about less than 20 quid's worth of Chinese money left after it. And it was like, that was my money.
Aye.
That was my money for the trip. It's not like you're leaving it in the hotel
you could wear a
safe.
T-shirt and a fucking...
So we went back
They
over.
mean business, man.
And
They like business.
I'd nearly shat myself at the top of the wall that day, and had to hurriedly find a disgusting toilet that was a hole in the ground, right? And it was like shorts and everything off.
Is it busy, man?
This bit was busy because this was a tourist attraction.
Right.
So I'd nearly shat myself at the top. Caught up with the rest of the group, decided to get, with the choice of coming back down in a gondola or on a slide thing, right? A bobsleigh thing, right? And I was like, I don't,
Fucking hell.
it's China.
A bobsleigh. Everybody else has got normal like elevators or fucking whatever.
Well,
Not
or
China.
you could just
We're
walk.
going to bobsleigh.
You could just walk all the way down, but you get these bobsleigh things down the side of a hill.
Like a
and you've got
Jamaican bobsleigh team. Cool runnings. That's
no,
what you
no,
would
not
like.
quite easy. It was more like a sled. There you go. It was more like a sled. So I decided to get down in the gondola. So I jumped on the gondola with one of the folk that was on the trip. But the way the gondolas come swinging by, and you've got to kind of, the way you had to do it, you'd kind of watch for it coming, run in front of it, sit your arse in it, and then a Chinese guy would bring down the safety bar and it would click in place, right? So it's flying along, we jump in it, he pulls down the safety thing, it doesn't fucking click.
So you need to hold it.
I've
in
got the
your
videos
fucking-
somewhere because I'm filming it, right? Holding on, fucking terrified because you're right up in a mountain coming down over the tops of trees, and this barrier's moving up and down, and you're in one. It rocks because it's a gondola. So the
Fucking
chairs
hell.
are rocking.
Aye.
This bar's meant to have locked in place so that you don't tip right out and fall and die. So anyway, that was how we got off the hill, sitting having a beer, get my money ripped off. I was like, I'm fucking
this.
done, man.
Fuck China.
I'm fucking done.
Fuck China.
And the next day, I was ready for saying to them, I need to get the next flight home. I'm fed enough.
What
But
was
then
it? What tour was it?
It was for St Andrew's Hospice in
aye.
Coatbridge. Aye. But I was there to blog it and film it. I was
aye.
doing YouTube videos and blogging it.
That's cool, man.
Turned
was
out to be really good though, didn't it?
Oh, it was a life-changing experience. It was,
Brilliant, aye.
it was fucking amazing. Aye.
So see there's events and all that at the wall. There's shit at the wall and that to do, stuff to look at and that.
I mean, we were only on the wall 6 or 7 days, so we only saw a tiny
Is
bit
there a
of it.
McDonald's?
Aye, there was.
Aye,
Aye,
it's
Subway and all
McDonald's.
that. Aye, that one I'm talking about,
Brilliant.
the tourist one. Aye, they did all that. What's interesting about the Chinese is they're right into group activities. So our first
Because
morning,
they're all jammed into
they are
the.
communists though.
they are
They're all
communists
jammed
and
into the
everybody's
fucking
equal.
factories, man. It's like, oh, this is great. Look
So
at this.
The first morning, I woke up about 4 o'clock in the morning with a jet lag and all that, and the sun was kind of up, and we were across
The rising sun.
6 lanes of road. It wasn't even motorway, just 6 lanes of road, right, from a park. So I left the hotel, up before everybody else, left the hotel and thought, I'm going to have a wander through the park. And it was full of Chinese folk doing, like... Tai Chi or dance classes,
Oh, aye.
roller skating classes.
Roller skating.
Bits of the park, and there was maybe 20 or 30 of them doing. And this is like 4:30 in the morning. They're absolutely mental.
4:30, aye.
Aye, it was crazy because I was up super early,
Aye.
and they're all, but they've
they're
obviously
out.
got their work to go to, so they're all up and they all meet up and they do their activity and then they go to work. But what I noticed was they would get us to do, like the tour organisers would get us to do these warm up exercises before we'd start the climb. So it was all stretching and all that, and a bit of Tai Chi. It was all bullshit. I never ever did. I would film it rather than doing it. Any Chinese folk that were round about would see us doing it, they would wander over and just join in.
Aye.
Just join in. They wouldn't speak to us or anything like that. It's like, oh, they're doing, so that's a group of people doing things.
pretty fun.
I'm going to go and do that as well.
Scottish people do that, but it's just for drink.
Aye.
They're drinking. I'm going over to have a drink with
Could you imagine it as one of the fucking...
He's shooting up.
one of the boot
mate.
camps in Glasgow Green, the fitness
Aye,
guys
aye.
organise the boot camp and you're passing
just
by and you go,
jump up.
oh, just... Star
Fucking
jumps, mate. Star jumps. And then it's squats.
Do
I
these
ain't
guys
bother.
still do stuff?
Aye,
Aye.
I
These
was
guys
in at the weekend and took the dog out. I was in
They were
Tier,
still doing it?
and they were all doing it. It was fucking freezing.
Aye.
And they had a class on, and they're walking about checking for dog shit on the grass because obviously they've got their class coming.
Mental, man. Mental. I seen the big JW headquarters up in Skye.
What?
Big JW headquarters in Skye.
Really?
There's a big, massive building.
Yeah, so it must
and
that's after I've left.
big windowed front and all that. The big blue logo. My favourite logo of religious fucking cults is the JW one.
They've got a good brand.
That's it, man. Their branding is good, eh?
But they've got the logo and they've got a QR code as well. So they were ahead of the curve with the
They've got a
COVID thing,
QR
man.
it's
They had the
funny.
QR code. QR code to get into paradise. You get your QR code on you.
I seen it right
Fast
over
pass
the.
to get into paradise.
Yeah, there's a couple of messages just come through. I'm just going to check if it's if they're any good.
If it's your COVID results.
All right, okay, cool. It's from Dawn,
Uh-huh.
long time listener. She's been asked by Spotify if there was, I think it's maybe Anchor that owns, that Spotify owns. And she did a message for them that there was one podcast that lived in your head rent free all year long. Guess which podcast it was?
The Joe Rogan Experience.
The Joe Rogan Experience. How did you know? No, I wonder if it will get it to show up. I think it will show up. No, it's social media ruins everything. So thanks for.
Oh, great.
Although it says you listened to 19 episodes. There's 20 published episodes, Neil. I'm not too happy about that. I know she's ready to go into labour with her first child, but for a total of 1,730 minutes, that's a lot of time.
Aye.
That's a lot.
I don't
How many languages could you have learned in 1,730 minutes?
Think if she listened to actual knowledgeable stuff that would improve her life.
We definitely need to get that T-shirt made. I heard it on a podcast because then it kind of legitimises everything we ever say.
That's fucking man. Oh well, good. So would the Spotify do that stuff?
It seems to be they've sent
Oh,
all
it's
that.
like one of the yearly things. Oh, aye,
yearly
okay.
year in
okay,
review
aye.
type of thing.
That's I think that's happened now. The yearly review.
Oh,
The
is it? Aye.
Spotify yearly rap, and everyone puts it on their story. Like,
That's
oh,
it.
some folk
Aye.
have listened to like 100,000 hours, minutes. Sorry,
Wow.
of music.
I don't know how much I listen to it every day, but it's I hated when people posted. What was it when they were saying about the songs that maybe it was one of the things in the songs that you like most and all that, and people were like, oh, mine's is pure shit, man. And then people would post and say, don't actually want to see your music that you listen. I actually fucking really liked when people posted it, and I was like, oh look, they've got they listen. I'm going to check that out. And then it was but
Well, we've just did another one.
oh, there
Stephen
we go.
Connell, your top podcast from Spotify. So shall we do a rundown? I don't have the fucking. I needed a jingle, but I don't have a jingle. So
Just need to get a live band.
You could definitely fit a live band in here.
Oh, aye. So let's do Steve Connell's top podcast rundown, top 5 podcasts. In at number 5, Anything Goes with James English. Decent podcast, Neil. Decent. A little bit gangster heavy.
I've listened to a few, man. I quite liked it. I think he's a nice guy.
I think we'll host him in here at some point.
I think he's a
and
nice
get him
guy.
on as a guest as well. And in at number 4, Wild Ride with Steve-O.
Right?
Steve-O, you know what I mean? Jackass, decent podcast.
I wouldn't listen to that.
Friday Night Club podcast.
Be
Never heard of that one.
hilarious if he was like a heterosexual guy married with kids and all that, and then you read that out and it was just for his, and there's like one heavy gay podcast, like a real one for the gay times kind of thing,
Well,
you know?
I've still got 2 more to read out.
Oh, on you go.
In second place, the Joe Rogan Experience.
All right, okay.
And in first place, the gayest podcast of all. Social media ruins everything. In first place on Stephen Connell's top 5 podcast. That's fucking
brilliant.
amazing.
Oh, amazing.
Cheers,
Fucking
guys.
brilliant.
Thanks,
It's,
Don and Steve.
Aye, brilliant. It's that's good, man. That's good how they do that. Aye, good.
Aye.
Good.
Happy with that.
Good.
Happy with that.
21 episodes. It doesn't. There's hardly any. I feel as if we've done about 50.
Well, we have, because we do a members
I
only
suppose.
one.
Aye, well, there you go.
Patreon.com/SMRE. Right after we finish the live show, we'll be going on a private members only live show that's available for Patreon subscribers only for the low price of just £4 a month plus tax. You're very welcome. So, what's the story with you, Neil?
What?
What's the
happened?
story with you? So, let's just have a wee look at you. Yeah, the beard is a bit thinner.
I had to shave it. It was just getting wild. I leave it too long and it grows. Do you know how it grows long?
Aye.
And then people don't say to you, that beard's really long. You know, because
know.
people think you enjoy it, and I'm
You
like, I
think
don't
you
want to
want
look
to
like
be
a
like
heavy
ZZ
metal
Top.
guy. I don't want to look like a heavy metal
Yeah.
guy. I think it's when it gets too long, it's hard. It's just weird. You know what I mean?
And you also arrived here this evening with skinny jeans on.
Well, they're not really. I don't think they're meant to be skinny, but I'm wearing thermal underwear as well.
Are you know roasting the now? Or you
No,
all right?
No, I'm actually kind of cold, but I'm all right. I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
You're a bit cold. You want us to put the heating on?
No,
You need
it's
to
not
put
that
50
cold.
pence in the meter.
No, it's fine, man.
But you've also lost a wee bit of weight.
I mean, I don't know if I've lost like weight or I don't know. It's probably just the way I carry myself. But no, it's like when I was telling you earlier. You know what I mean? Like, you know when you hear people and they'll say to you, "Oh, you know," or you maybe see it and say, "I'll listen. I just heard this guy talking." And instantly I was transported and I was like, that's it. And it changed my life. I don't know. And I never had
I
that.
get that all the time.
See, what people saying to you, I just listened to you, mate. You changed my life.
Can't believe I fucking joined that religion when he was doing the door knock. What the fuck? I'm trapped.
No, just yesterday a guy told me that he thinks that I'm his idol, which was quite nice.
He thinks that you're his.
He says, "I think you're my idol."
Right, okay.
Just yesterday,
All right.
so it was quite nice.
That's a
I
compliment.
don't.
So
I mean, I don't know what he
you're
means
somebody's
by it.
idol. The podcast is ranked number 1, globally in Stephen Connell's world. So
There we go. We're doing all right. It's funny that in people's world, you know, in everybody each other's world, you know.
So anyway,
So
you found a life-changing experience.
No, I never found it. wasn't life changing. I just listened. I was listening to Jordan Peterson because I'd never listened, but Cammy says his things were good. His the lecture things. Then I listened, and I was, this is a guy I've been meaning to listen to. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. The whole routine thing's interesting. No having a routine, but you really need to have a routine.
Yeah.
You know.
So you've
And
got a
then-
routine now?
Well, I've got a routine now, but I started looking at it, and then everybody that I know that's no got a routine, they're all kind of depressed. Mm-hmm. And they do say that you need to have a routine to be mentally healthy, you know?
So in your routine, I guess you'll have your daily routine, and I'm assuming you're kind of a weekly routine. We're both smiling because you know I'm going to say fucking something ridiculous. Where in your routine is practicing to be a world-renowned international podcaster?
What?
Or does that just come naturally?
Well, Wednesday night.
Wednesday night? You don't practice any other time during the week?
Well, I mean, I'll talk to people.
Right.
And
in your head, it's always like, how's my microphone technique doing?
It's like when I'm talking to people, I'm trying
Have I got my compressor on?
No, I'm... do you do that? Do you practice?
Practice? I don't need to practice, Neil, right? I nearly fucking invented it, to be fair.
Nah, so that was that. So it's just interesting having a routine.
Aye.
And I find it
Aye, it's a
different.
huge thing,
I
isn't
find
it?
it very helpful, and it just ties in because I need to lose some weight anyway. You get to that age, like I've said, you get to that age, and then that's it. You need to all the ailments start coming. And I just couldn't be bothered with the hassle of having anything wrong with me or that.
You've
you know?
also said you want to have a six-pack by the time you're 40.
Aye.
So you're into that 2-year window now because
Aye.
you've got what, a year and 9 months or something.
Something like that, aye. I think
Aye,
that's
it's doable.
It's doable
It's
if you
doable.
just, that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't think anybody believes me. Like, he's not going to do it. But I don't even think Gemma believes me that. You know, I think,
Prove everybody
that's,
wrong.
That's, but you need that wee bit as well. You need that bit
Prove
of try.
them wrong.
You need the
Oh,
bit
aye.
of people think you're going
Aye.
to do it. And I think
It's like when all the cunts were like, they'll never get a studio for the SMRE podcast. They'll never be able to do it. Behold the feast.
But
in
it's just
front of you.
interesting. It's just interesting the difference when you, because sometimes I would go through life thinking I was no negative, kind of positive, but I was negative, you know. And then you're like, but you kind of, I'm a fan of the negative self-deprecating sort of humour, you know. So I quite like it. I was quite comfortable in that.
You and I,
position.
aside from Wednesdays, we don't talk, right? Because we don't live near each other. It's not like phone Neil up and see how he's getting on. So we'll exchange over WhatsApp, and sometimes on WhatsApp you come across
I know, but I
as
do that for a
really
lot.
fucking
No, I do it for a
dementedly
joke because
negative.
I'll wait for you to get back to me, and then you don't get back to me.
Because I'm just like, for fuck's sake.
I know, but that's what I mean, and I know you'd say because I was like, you messaged me, have you put anything have you got in for the spreadsheet, right? Have you got in for the spreadsheet? And I was like, oh, watch this. And I was waiting for him to go back, and I just goes, no, and then full stop, and then you should have known by the full stop I was having a joke. Because you would never put a full stop and say no.
I never noticed the full stop, and I just thought.
But I was waiting on you
He's
coming
in one
back
of
with
the
some.
moods.
No, but I'm never in any one of
It's
the
that
moods.
time of the month.
I'm never in any one of the moods. I was always like, I would always be fine with people and talk to them, even if it was like a negative sort of side.
Right.
And
That's good to know.
so no, I do that just for a laugh.
So context for viewers and listeners, obviously we've mentioned before we've got the spreadsheet of content for the show, but to be fair, neither of us have put anything in it for the last couple of weeks because it's been kind of hectic. And I was aware, whatever time it was yesterday, fuck, if we get anything in it, so I'd message you to say, have you put anything in the spreadsheet? Because I knew I hadn't. And as you say, your response was no. Not, I've not the chance yet, or I'll look for some stuff later on.
Because I was going to put a message after
It's just that flex.
Because you
but
hadn't got back to me. And then I was going to put a message
did it make
back
you feel
saying,
uncomfortable that I didn't get back to you?
no, well, I kind of knew. I says he thinks I'm fucking being cheeky. He's been an idiot doing that, right? So I knew all that, and I'm like, I'm just going to say no. And then I was waiting, and and I was going to a few hours later, I was going to say, but I'll look right now, full stop. But I never bothered. I was like, no, I'm just going to leave it.
So when you reply in that sort of curt way,
Aye.
or in WhatsApp you get the blue ticks and you don't say anything for like 2 days.
But I do that. That's what I'm saying. It's like people freak out about communication between people and all that. And it's like, but if whatever way, the texting is quite tricky because you could write something and people take it whatever way.
Aye.
So I quite like that. I can say, no, look at a message, and then I imagine like, oh, I better get back to Mark because he'll be like, the fuck, he should message me back. No, it's sometimes if I'm in the middle of something.
Well, exactly. That's what I was just about to
and
say.
then I see the thing.
So I imagine you're running a
Aye.
wicker
But did
basket.
you
You're
see
running a
the-
basket, a weave,
Did
sorry.
you see the new update on the iPhone? What you can get you can set it so you can have certain people that can phone you. That's the only people you can set all that up. So it's only certain numbers that can come through.
Ever?
Aye, and you keep it on that. So
Alright.
I keep it on that all the time, and I only have like 5 numbers that can get through to phone me. So you end up getting all these missed calls. And I'm
Right.
like, I wouldn't have answered it anyway. Fuck
That's
them.
good to know.
Oh, it's
That's
fucking
good to
brilliant.
know.
It's brilliant. And I don't have any notifications on the apps or that, but I just have the wee red thing over the top of like Messenger ones or that. But you can do all that. And
Interesting. So I think when it comes to communication, there's 2 things we need to address. First of all, let's give the phone number a shout out. The hotline, you can phone SMRE either on either via your phone or on WhatsApp, right? So if it's in WhatsApp, you're just adding the number 07719 69 0049, or just dial that number from your phone. So 07719 69 0049. You can phone in. We've got it all paired up. Let me check. Yes, it's all good to go. And also, we should probably see if we get any comments. I feel pretty bad. We've been talking for about 40 minutes.
really,
So I'll see if I can bring this up.
what's the new
We've got Choo Choo in the chat. I think that's howling. But look at the fucking.
the pictures are fucking beauty, man.
This
It's
is a
ma-
belter. So for those listening, the profile picture for Choo Choo, which we believe is Howling, is Thomas the Tank Engine, but instead of Thomas the Tank Engine's face, it's a photograph of me with a Finis and beanie photoshopped on top.
Good. It's
Rob
fair
Simpson, I
play.
think it was Rob Simpson that did it. He
Brilliant.
crafted it.
And then we've got Derek's car wash. He's in the
Also
chat.
Look, he even got a picture of that guy.
Just some guy,
Fucking
just some
racist.
guy.
But we don't know who anybody
Nah,
is now.
Nah, but
That's fine.
That's
That's
part of the.
fine.
Um,
Part of the mystique.
yeah. So Matt Barry's watching for the first time live.
Matt Barry's watching live. Jesus.
And then I'll go back up.
How do you know he's watching live?
Because he put in the chat. He
Aye.
said, I'll get that there.
First time watching live.
Matt Barry
shite.
watching
See you
live
later.
for the first time. ... Oh, fucking 4 dots.
Dot.
4 dots, Neil.
I always stick to
Being a
3
communication expert, what does 4 dots mean?
I always stick to 3 dots,
Right.
but 4 dots is interesting. I don't know. And then his profile picture here as well. He's got a bit of a swagger on there. The way
Oh,
he's
aye, big
standing.
time, big time. Oh, big time
So
swagger.
there you go.
You maybe get to meet him at some point. You
That's
don't want to meet anybody, do you?
Oh, I'm fine meeting people. I just don't answer the phone to them.
Right, okay.
I can meet
Now,
anybody.
we could have had a couple of bods sat the other night. That would have been interesting.
What the fuck? It'd freak me out, you know what I mean?
No, 'cause we'd bring them
Can't
in.
A couple of cunts sitting there fucking looking at us.
They've got no microphones. We can go, what are they socks, mate? What, are they your trainers? Did you rob them for the tramp across outside the Carlton Tavern?
Aye, but it's like, how much feedback would you get though? They'd just be like,
Doesn't matter.
Just my socks.
But you can just abuse them.
There's
Hey, what else we got?
Rob Simpson says, going back to like folk bringing up like weird pictures and stuff like that. The father-in-law sent me a photo of a bedroom he was working in. The woman had an oil painting of herself naked over the bed.
Oh, well, that's interesting, but it's
Over the bed?
It's also popular.
aye.
I think that's popular as well. I've seen people who do get pictures taken of themselves. That's an oil painting. No, that's quite.
That takes time. She would have had to pose for a while.
A photograph.
I know a few
You think
guys.
so?
I know a few guys who go to the live. What is that? What's the art class?
A live painting.
Live. What do you call it? What's the name for it?
Uh,
You know, when somebody's
aye.
there.
It's live something into it.
Imagine you would do it. Would you do that?
What, paint them or
No,
pose for
be
it?
the guy.
I would have, maybe
People
not,
says
maybe when I was fitter.
they says they like people says they like it, like it's really a nice experience to go and sit there while people are drawing you. You know, they say it's quite liberating, I think, but
For your 40th,
uh-huh.
when you've got the six pack,
Yeah.
you should volunteer to do
I maybe do it.
that.
If I had a bigger willy, man, I'd maybe do stuff like that.
I
I'd
think
need to keep stretching it, giving me a wee bit of a semi so people never laughed.
Can you imagine the sights they would see, but because I can't imagine everybody going in there as a Neil McKinley. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's some right
No, I think
roasters.
aye, man. I'd like to go, man. I don't know if I'd be good at drawing somebody naked, though, you know?
Could do it abstract, kind of Picasso
Aye,
style.
that's probably what I
like
would
they're-
do.
And do like, was it Colin Douglas about the nose penis transplant thing? Like a big cock coming out of their face. It's abstract. Any other comments, Cam?
Yeah, I'll go through a few more. Next person in for an interview should be your mum, Neil. Says
Oh,
Rob
Should have
Simpson.
some good
I mean,
stories.
the thing, do you know what? I've thought of this before, man.
Really?
I've thought of it, like, I've thought of setting up mics and then getting in, just talking through a thing. I think that would be quite interesting, you know?
Yeah, my dad wanted to do that.
Oh, I think it's really interesting just to have a thing
Yeah.
because our mum and dad died when she was really young. Like she was very like no young, but she had kids in the time. But she was still young to know have a mum and dad. So I think even that, and then she had divorces and all that. You know, so I think it'd be pretty good.
But your mum's still quite young, isn't she?
Well, she's 60, 61.
Aye, so she's
Aye.
11 years older than me. That's not much.
Nah, she seems
mad.
young. She seems young. You know what I mean? She seems young. So.
Aye, 61's young these days, isn't it?
It is young nowadays. You know what the thing is? There's somebody I know who's 64 and they're old as fuck. You know what I mean? And then there's mum who's 61 and she's kind of normal. You know what I mean? It's
Do you want to
crazy.
know? Do you want to know who's relatively young but is old as fuck? Matt's brother.
Oh, aye.
Matt that's watching, his brother. He'll agree. But he's always been an old cunt. He used to in his mum and dad's house, in his bedroom, he had a desk with a telephone on it, like an extension line running with a telephone and a typewriter. And he would say to Mark, "Yes, Mad, I've got a fully functioning office in my bedroom." He was about 14 at the time. That's what we're dealing with. That's the kind of rocket we're dealing with.
How did he stay so young?
How do you stay?
How did he look young? What do you mean? He looks
old?
young?
No, just
he's just old as fuck.
Old,
Oh,
not,
he's
not
just
that way.
old.
He's just,
Aye.
yes, well, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, one's service to Jehovah God. Aye.
I get you.
Aye.
Oh no, it's weird. But that's what I'm saying. I worked with a guy who was like 70, 72, and he was still bench pressing and all that.
go.
You know what I mean? And I was like, what you basically? I'm no benching as much, but he was still like bench pressing an awful lot. You know, for 72 years old, like he was in shape.
Imagine trying to start doing that at 72.
Oh.
It would snap you.
Well, I was listening to a thing. Don't know if you are interested.
We'll let you know. Go for it. We'll
aye.
tell you.
The muscles that deteriorate over time are type 2 fibers, right? That's the ones that make you fall over when you're an old person and you break a hip and all that. And like, I'm not a scientist or a body expert here. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, honestly.
Listeners,
I don't make a
just
big
be
deal
aware of
about
that.
don't make a big deal about it. But it's like, so the way to train type 2 fibers is either fast or heavy.
Aye, right.
So that's what you
Makes
should.
sense.
And that will get the type 2 fibers. That will make sure the longevity.
So let me see if you get this, understand this right. When you go to the gym, what you're meant to do is go on to let's say the seated bench press machine. You know the one you sit,
Yeah.
right, and you do 10 reps, and then you get your phone out and flick through Instagram for 2 minutes, and then do another 10 reps and then go home. Is that the kind of training we're talking about?
That's exactly it. Nah,
Brilliant.
I don't know, man. Fast or heavy. So
That
I
makes
get
sense.
it.
So
I get it.
atrophy, atrophy, you're causing it. Muscle atrophy is what you need to achieve, isn't it?
I don't
Kill
know.
the muscles so they rebuild, the fibres
Aye.
rebuild back stronger. So you'll achieve that through
Aye.
taking them to failure fast or taking them to fail. I remember doing a session with one of the trainer guys at this gym I used to go to, and he would calculate your max 1 rep in whatever exercise it was, and then you would take, I think it was 10% off that and do 2 reps, and that was it, you were done. And I had to go to the doctor because I immediately had pain shooting up the left side of my neck and had a vein coming down. Seriously, I'm not exaggerating. It was coming down nearly my eyebrow. I was fucked.
It's heavy going.
Because because let's to figure out your 1 rep max, you don't just do 1 rep. We put that into 100 pound. Oh, you managed that, no bother, right? Let's put another 50 on. So you've maybe done 4 or 5 to get to your 1, and then you're like complete failure.
Aye.
Right, now do 2 at 10% less than that. You're fucked.
Aye.
And I was putting way too much into it, and I literally had to leave the gym and go and sit around at the surgery and say, I need to see a doctor. I thought I was having a stroke.
Really?
Aye.
It's heavy going.
Aye, it
like
was
I'm going out and doing the workout in the morning, and I'm thinking, this is heavy going. And then it's fine, all right, because I put in some like motivational fucking, that's the stage I'm at. I used to be able to go and work out, right, and just have nothing or music. Now I've got fucking motivational fucking videos, just like, you know, the wee montages that they make up?
Aye.
And I just put them in.
Aye,
I only need to do it for another week maybe with them.
Aye.
And you get through, which is quite nice. But it's heavy going, and then at night time when you're sitting and it's like 7 o'clock, and I'm like, right, so I've had dinner and earlier, I'm not eating it, and for now, and that's shooting, and I'm like, is this what people need to do to fucking keep healthy? This is fucking boring. I could fucking eat maybe after 7 o'clock a share bag of Maltesers, the big Chimalos, Haribo Chimalos.
You used to do that every Sunday night on the podcast.
Easy, could do it easy. Fucking. So now you can't do that, and I'm like, is this what people do, man? To just feel better? You feel better though for it.
And it
You
gets
feel
harder
better
as you get older.
but you feel better.
Oh, aye,
You feel
absolutely.
better.
Aye,
It's better
absolutely.
for you. It's better for everything, I think, around you.
Yeah.
You know, the positive mindset. But I don't know, man. Positive mindset's a thing, but I don't know. I quite like the negative mindset as well.
I've noticed.
There's something funny about it, you know?
Right, are we jumping it back into the comments, or are we jumping onto something else? I've got.
Gordy Browse says his old boss chased a boy down the street with a samurai sword in Glasgow. That's probably about right.
I remember we were doing the door knocking, no far from here. In fact, it was the other end of Duke Street, the Parkhead end of Duke Street, and whoever I was with, we'd walk down Cumbernauld Road and turned right onto Duke Street, and we're walking along towards Whitevale Avenue. So you used to have the Whitevale and Bluevale high-rise flats. I think they're gone now. They were rough as fuck, sketchy. They were terrifying to go into, but we would have to go into them. Then we were walking along Duke Street, and this guy comes tearing out of Whitehill Avenue, heading north up towards Alexandra Parade, right across Duke Street, like slapping, you know, his feet are slapping the pavement, and then about 3 seconds later, 2 cunts chasing him. One of them's got a fucking samurai sword, no joke. And it was unreal back in
Imagine
those
getting
days.
chased with a samurai sword.
Fuck, I know.
You need to run fast.
It's not even if you boot to stop and go, right, okay, how can I deal? No,
He's
you
got
need
a
to keep running
sword.
because he's got a sword. It's not like a wee knife.
And
where
see
you could
people in
swerve
Glasgow
it.
who've got samurai swords, they don't think, they know that when they think they are a samurai when they've got that jump about of town. Fucking like that. Fuck, they don't mess about. Fuck that.
Aye.
That's funny.
Have the good
See
old
when you
days.
go, so see like back, Ricky Fulton done that thing. Remember when the Jehovah's came in and they says, oh boys, just go through there and wait. And then would you see that back in the day? Were you allowed to
Aye,
see
it was
that?
fun, and we'd find it
and
funny.
you'd find it funny.
Aye, you'd find it funny. Aye, definitely.
But you were still
What's the
switched.
skit?
The Jehovah's Witnesses, Ricky Fulton's in his house, knocking the door, the doorbell goes, he answers the door, and it's 2 guys with the suits on, the brown suits and all that, and they're like, we're just here to speak to you about whatever it was, or the Watch Down the Week magazines, and he says, oh, certainly, come in, and he leads them through into the room, he goes, it's just through that door there, and they open the door, and they step out, and it's like a cliff, and they fall off the cliff, and that was quite fun.
Brown suits? Do you have to wear a brown suit? Aye.
No, but that was... Matt's brother wore a lot of brown suits.
Oh, aye.
Aye.
Fuck.
Didn't he?
There's
Didn't he,
something,
Matt? You know what I'm
there's
talking
something
about.
about a brown suit, eh? There's just something about
It's
it's
dirty.
weird.
It's a dirty looking suit, man. A brown suit, grey, black, or navy blue.
Well, Don Johnson puts on a brown suit. It doesn't look dirty. Don Johnson could put on a brown suit and it looks cool.
That's probably the gayest thing I've ever heard you say.
Aye.
And I'll just trigger warning because I
Don
said
Johnson.
gay.
Don Johnson's a fucking icon.
I never said he wasn't an icon, but it's quite a. It's the gayest thing I've heard
I mean, I
you
never
say.
says I wanted to go on my knees and suck a guy's cock. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I just says he might look good with a thing, mate.
See like a brown suit with like an off-green shirt.
Aye.
And then like I don't know.
Mustard coloured tie.
Aye. It's just
So you never had to go and spend time with the one person. That's Mormons, isn't it? That's different. That's Mormons.
No, Mormons, not all Mormons do it, but they'll do, I think it's a 1 or a 2 year missionary. And it's not just with one person. They'll stay in a flat and there's maybe 8 of them and they'll partner off. And I don't think it's always the same person they partner off with. No, we didn't do that. But I mean, the Jehovah's Witnesses have got missionaries that do get sent to, like one of my mum's sisters was a missionary in Brazil.
Aye.
I think her husband was gay.
Oh, aye.
I met him and not be you're a young guy and you're like, oh,
What, he pumped you?
Aye. Now that would be pedo. So they've got missionaries and all that. Matt's brother was a missionary type for a while.
Aye.
I just want Matt to phone in and we can slag his brother off.
That's mental, man. That's
He gets sent to Latvia.
I bet it's a good laugh though, man.
Well, he done a training course thing, like a top level JW training course thing called the Ministerial Training School, Neil, MTS for short. So he did that, and basically the way it worked back then was it was single guys only, and you would
Sounds ominous.
if you completed everything's borderline, everything's closet.
Brilliant.
So if you completed the course, you'd be given an assignment, and it could be anywhere in the world you'd be assigned to, but back then, you had to agree to remain single for 2 years. But he'd just met this bird before he gets sent in the course. So he's met this bird, right? And he's all about the bird.
Aye.
And then he goes on the course which he'd already agreed to do and completes the course and gets sent to Latvia. I think he lasted about 2 months. And he gets sent over there with a guy. It was like two, they were meant to go and do their work together and all that kind of stuff. And he fucked off
Ended
back.
up fucking him.
I think he probably fucked the bird, to be fair. He came back and got that sorted.
It's just mental, man. But see the thing I was thinking about, see if it's like a loving family and you've been given everything, and it's stable and all that going on. I don't know if there's anything bad with it, just because the beliefs are a bit different. See if you've been brought up as in a sort of religion or that.
Depends.
You know what I mean?
Well, it depends, though, doesn't it?
Don't know.
Not all religions are created equal.
Aye, but say you're in Scientology, you're born into Scientology, and then you grow up and you've got a really supportive
you're still
family and all
enjoying it
that,
and all
and
that.
you're still enjoying life, and I don't know if there's anything the matter with that.
Aye.
But you just think different than the norm, But look at now, I think different than not the
We
norm now.
definitely
You know what I
think
mean? So
different
it's
than
like
aye, absolutely. And people would
I
argue
think
we
we're
should
all
be punished.
maybe we're all in a cult, man. Just these different cults.
Well, culture is just your cult. Right, if we're not getting any more comments, we'll go and tackle a couple of questions, queries and conundrums, if that's okay. Would you think?
Go for it.
Aye. No more comments of note, Cam?
No, just Rob Simpson saying he's had 15 years of missionary. You knew that. You knew that joke was there. And then Howland's like, "How do you get into the JWs? Surely some dodgy shit."
Similar to the Masons, I think.
That's a lot.
Not as prestigious.
It's a lot easier than that. Right. So we've got a few. Actually, we've got a few. Gordon's Leather Gifts. What's your favourite COVID strain?
I don't know. I like a new one. Coming out. I'm waiting for the one that's coming. It's like Fast and Furious fucking trailers. It's weird how they give them all names, so isn't it?
So quickly as well.
So quickly give them names, and then the way they put it out, and they've got the backstory and all that.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
It's almost as if it's been planned.
I mean, if you watch Wag the Dog, it's like, this sounds like Robert De Niro's in fucking made this story up and fired it out.
Exactly.
It's weird, man.
What else we got? Would you rather, this is from Colin Douglas, would you rather shit yourself monthly in public or daily in private?
Sort of drugs is he on? He needs to go to the doctor.
Daily in private. Is it at the same time every day? Like,
You know it's coming.
Oh, it's coming up to 3 o'clock. Listen, I need
to go.
Where's the nearest toilet? Oh, I don't know, mate. Where's the nearest fucking toilet?
Listen, I shit every day at this time, right? If you don't give me a toilet, that's fucking, I'm going to shit right here in front of you. That's funny. That's a real conundrum.
It's going to be daily in private.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I could be doing that daily. It would just be
Daily,
so
man.
annoying. Monthly would be fine with me.
What if it happened in the shower?
What would you do then? Just get a toothbrush and poke it down the hole?
Aye, if you knew that's when it was going to happen.
Just use your toes.
I would do monthly in front of people.
It really depends where you are.
I'd do a podcast for it. I would have like the shite podcast it would be, and it would just be, listen, this time every month, this is when I shit myself, and it needs to be in public, so we might as well
You get a videographer.
broadcast it. Aye.
Go down to the local Starbucks. Make sure all the Waynes are there. Right, we've got 2 more, but we'll save them for the members only.
Oh, aye.
If that's all right.
I don't care.
Just to
Aye.
give us a bit of content for that.
Rob Simpson actually makes a good point. How do you know what strain you've got? They never told me what strain I've got.
Genome sequencing. Don't question the science, Rob. Sorry, I'm putting my shoes back on here.
Genome sequencing. Is that Rob in the profile picture? I never thought he looked like that. I never thought it looks like that. Looks like a stock photo that he's got of some guy.
I think it is a stock photo. I think it's used in the SMRE.
Aye.
Ah,
It's
is
part
it?
of the SMRE market. No, that you would know. Do you even follow SMRE?
I do follow. Aye. I've been out of touch. I'm conscious of fucking putting stuff when I've got like designers and fucking rich women who want to buy stuff, and then they see me saying, "Oh, another one that had a wank, and then I think I've shit myself this month." You know what I mean? They're like, "Who's this guy?"
Right, Tom, but nearly shitting yourself. I'm going to the toilet.
Oh, you're actually going to nearly shit yourself? All right. It's all right.
Yeah, it's me and Cam.
It's like you've gone through you've gone through like a complete. What the fuck was that? A complete
that wee
rebranding of like of what you can do. Because I can completely understand that in terms of like not wanting to put out.
Well,
a
do you,
black
yeah,
dildo,
you understand
for example.
that?
Aye.
Well, it's like, so I have a wee experiment that I'm going to do branding and marketing. I'm going to have a wee experiment over the next like year or whatever,
Yeah.
just to see how it goes. Because it's like you talk about all this shit,
Aye.
and then you're like, aye, that's obviously why they do that, you know. And then it's, oh well, you might as well do that yourself, you know.
Aye, because it'll be interesting to see if you actually get results as well. Because that's quite quantifiable in a way.
Aye.
Because you were saying you're getting in touch with
Aye.
with like
So
the
like
designers
right
and stuff like
up
that.
to now, right, out of every designer that I've got in touch with, there's only been like 2 who's no got back.
That's good.
So out of like 30 people,
That's fucking
that's
amazing.
like
That's
a great
amazing, by the
return
way.
thing, you
Aye.
know.
Aye, that's really
they've
good.
no bought anything yet.
No,
Well, I think
but-
I've had 2 things off it, but
But you've made
eventually-
yourself
aye,
aware.
and then they follow you, and then
Yeah.
they do all that, you know.
Aye.
It's interesting, man. But it's just the story. It's like we were saying about the story. Who are we talking about? It's stories like all that. Like it's just a story. Who were we talking about last week? We were talking about a few people. Oh no, just the other day when we were in.
Aye.
Like a Steve Jobs.
Yeah. Aye.
All the stories
yeah.
that got put out about him,
Yeah.
people have a perception of what Steve Jobs was like. He
Aye.
might have been totally fucking different.
It's like he was a brand in itself. Like he helped brand Apple as well.
Aye.
Because people are like, oh, I like the type of guy Steve Jobs is. Like, who are you? Are you Bill Gates or a Steve Jobs kind of guy?
Aye, PC Mac, but
Aye.
that's exactly it, because he was a cooler guy. He was the
Yeah.
guy who was into psychedelics and doing all that,
Yeah.
aye. But it's like, it's no even going to the point where you want to have this story, this made up. See how like story was the thing, and everybody tells you about their journey. My journey to, this is how I built this business. My grandfather
Yeah.
had tools and he let me, blah, 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 right? That used to be a thing.
Aye,
I don't know if
yeah.
people give a fuck anymore, man. You need to have a story, but you don't tell them the
Yeah.
story in one thing. You tell them a story throughout weeks, days, months.
That's probably true.
That's
actually.
how you tell the story, so people get the feeling and how to perceive you, which is fucking weird because you're like talking about doing that to yourself to put it out so that your work has a thing. You know, it's a weird.
I think as well, like there's so much content now that folk are just like, well, I can't be fucked.
How many stories? Do you know how many times I've heard that thing? My grandfather had tools, and I used them. It's like, I get it, right? Everybody's granddad had tools because they all came from a generation where they all fucking done stuff. So just because you hammered it in doesn't mean you're going to be a great joiner. But it's like trying to do I don't know. It's try to work out a whole marketing thing, because usually I wouldn't bother. Usually I would just. But it's because I'm getting to like 40, I'm 38, going to be 40, and then I'm thinking, I better make something that's an actual thing. That I could, it's like, you know what I mean?
McKinley and Son.
Well, just even like a thing that's like there's an actual recurring income for it, and it's a thing rather than fuck, you know what I mean? Because
that goes back to the whole routine thing as well, doesn't it?
That's it, man.
You create both at the same time.
That's it. I mean, I don't think I could be like 45. Fucking waving a black dildo about and saying, "Oh, that's funny." You can't. I've seen older guys do that, and I'm like,
it gets to the point where it's just,
it's too much, because I'm kind of young in the head a bit. So I'm thinking, well, man, I'm 38, man. People don't look at me and think that I'm a young guy. People look and say, he's older. He's older, you know.
It's like it gets to the point where like, I don't know, is he something?
Is he a pervert?
No, it's not wired right, man.
Yeah, that's it. And then you become a nutcase, and it's like, because you can have a tiny bit. This is the whole thing with it. You can be a tiny bit of nut. Like, look at Steve Wozniak, right, with Apple, right, who was like, oh, he's nuts and out there. You know, like, you have a tiny bit, but you can't go all the way, because then people are like, oh, he's weird. He would be uncomfortable talking to you, you know. It's such a weird fucking way. That's what social media has done to everybody. In a way, it's kind of good, because nearly everybody now understands how to market a small business, you know, to a certain degree, you know, where before you couldn't do that. It was just like marketing people, and it's like, oh, I need to give them money.
Because it was in a magazine and all that as well.
In a magazine, it was all...
You can just post it. It takes like 15 minutes, well, not even, like 10 minutes to create an Instagram account.
And then,
with a Gmail
so now
and
you
all
can
that.
do it, but so it's kind of like, I might set up another wee page just for me, for nonsense, to keep it private, and just put everybody in it, or that. I don't know.
I was going to say, it's called a Finsta.
Finsta,
like a fake, and So, loads of folk used to, they were pretty, I'm assuming they're still popular.
At school with kids and all that, they know,
When we were at school, loads of folk used to have them. And then some kind of, you don't use it for a while, and some folks still use them, and they'll post funny stuff.
Like, that's it,
like, they'll just, it's funny.
It's weird, man.
You want to hop back in?
What were you fucking going to touch here? Were you going to touch my stuff?
You stopped, you went...
I've seen it.
Thanks for holding the floor.
No worries.
How's everybody doing?
Yeah, we're doing fine. How was that for you? Was that good there,
eh? Man, total relief. I shouldn't have drank so much water and Diet Coke. Oh...
I see like about that in terms of like I don't know if that guy's wired right. Like I was round at that wee roll shop round the corner, and I gave her money, and then it was like I actually ended up having the exact change, so I went back into my pocket and went, oh no, here's that instead, and she went, oh no, well. Then she passed me back the note, and I got all confused, and I looked like a fucking right mom. And then so I was carrying, trigger warning, I was carrying like 3 things, and she went, "You gonna be all right with that?" I was just,
John, can you help the wee boy out? Help the wee boy out the shop.
Help him out to his mobility scooter.
One of the blue bubble cars with
a trailer on it.
Didn't even help though, because I just kind of went, aye.
I'll be fine. My mum's outside waiting for me.
It's just funny. It's like, it's a funny thing, man, because you can, because it depends. You sometimes think you're young, man, but you're only fucking, 21, 22? Lewis was like that. He talks to you like a man, like, and I'm like, well, he is kind of a man, Lewis, but I would say I know what I know what you're saying, because he's only 21.
You don't expect it with the 21-year-olds these days.
No, 21.
I was married at 21.
Aye.
That doesn't mean to say I was mature, I wasn't, but still. you know.
Aye, well, that ended well, didn't it? But no, I mean, I think it's funny, but you could come across whatever way you want online and make up any story. But like I think when people see the marketing branding thing, I'm not an expert, obviously, but it's
So hold up, you're not an expert in that. You're not a doctor. You're not a scientist.
So it's like
You could come across that way on Instagram.
you could do, but it's like you. The market, but when people were saying, "Oh, you need to have a story," this all filtered down for like big marketing companies. You need to have a story. You need to do this, that. People took that literally and made the story and wrote the fucking story and posted it on their website or their social media. And it's like, no, that's not. You need to tell a story like a film tells you a story. You know, you need to go through the whole thing, but. It's just an interest. It's a crazy world that we live, and you can actually do that and make money from telling a story that might be fabricated slightly. I suppose you still need to, in my case, you still need to make stuff that's nice and people want, but it's interesting that you could. I know plenty of companies, man, who do that, and it's all set up. It's all fake.
Aye.
It's all fucking
Well, I was just going
fake.
to say, most of the stories will be made up.
All made up.
Aye.
All fake.
By a team sitting in a room.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Over the course of a couple of days.
It's like Harris
catered
Gin.
lunch.
It's like Harris Gin isn't even. It's like what do you call it? Neutral spirits.
Really?
And, neutral spirits, and it's all done. The marketing company in London, you know, who make up the bottle.
Beautiful
and that's why,
bottle.
Well, that's it. That's what sells. It's the bottle that sells. It's fucking gin. All gin fucking tastes the same.
Kinda.
Tiny wee bit there. I don't even drink gin. I'm telling you, all gin tastes the same. I've never tasted
The
gin
ones
in
that
my
have got
life.
fruit added, we get a nice grapefruit gin, or a lemon gin, and it's
There's
really,
loads.
really
What are
nice.
they?
But your straight gins like a Caroon or a Hendrix, or is it Hendrix? What's the? Oh, anyway.
Loch Goyle gin. Shout out Loch Goyle gin.
Aye, well,
Loch
Is that a
Goyle
thing?
gins. That's a thing. Guys set it up, man.
well.
Loch
Right,
Goyle gin.
we'll do one more question, query, and conundrum, right? But we'll save the other one because he's a Patreon
Okay.
dude, right? And we'll let it breathe a bit more because he's a
let it
you know what I
breathe.
mean? Right. I can't. I'm really sorry. I can't pronounce this guy's name. Schleifkunz.
Is he German?
It's
I
live,
don't know.
It's live cunts.
So it's SCHLEIFKUNST. Schleifkunst.
Aye. That's good.
Sounds about right.
That's
just
good.
because you're putting on, just because you're putting
You
on
gotta put an
accent
accent on.
If you're just saying Schleins
Barcelona.
Schleifkunst, some cunt says, would you take on a job for a young doc who is responsible for the biggest vac centre in Denmark?
Would you take on a
Oh,
job?
he's a Patreon sub as well.
Would
I
you
think.
take on a job?
Would you take on a job for a young doctor who's responsible for the biggest vaccination centre in the country?
Well, this is a funny
So
one.
it's an ethical one, isn't it?
It's no-
This is a consultant question actually, and I think we have to go dive deep into this and charge £600 per hour.
Yeah.
The way I mean, I don't really care what people do as a living. I would go and see the person first
Hitler.
and see if they're a
You
bell
would
end.
have made something for Hitler.
Well, if you look at he designed most of his furniture in that
Mid-century,
place.
good
He did
quality
that.
mid-century
It's
stuff.
a fucked up thing. He had actual decent taste. He did have
If,
a lot
if
of
Hitler
taste.
had an Instagram, it would be fucking. He would have followers. All I'm
yeah,
saying, it
he'd
wouldn't
be
be
an
because
influencer.
he's far right wing views. It wouldn't be because of that. It would be because he's fashion and he's thing. But
And
hey,
the fact he'd have a bit of backing for the Rockefellers and all
it's
that
pretty
kind of
mental.
stuff.
There's another. There's probably like in a parallel universe. There's a Hitler who's like a Casey Neistat on Instagram
Aye.
or some fucking other famous person
Imagine he had a TikTok.
dancing.
Aye.
I was watching a video of the premiere of it's like the Northwestern Territories, Australia, and he was talking about how if you don't support the vaccine mandate, he says, I don't care whether you're fully I don't care how many vaccinations you've had. If you don't support the vaccine mandate, you're anti-vax.
Aye.
Now, I said that in quite a measured way.
Aye,
This guy has been watching Hitler videos.
it's pretty crazy. It's
It was,
pretty,
that's what it was like. The eyes were out on stalks. He's like, what? If
you-
you
I-
do not support the vaccine mandate, he
but
was
I
going
don't know
nuts.
what there'd be some heavy money getting thrown about though. Heavy
It's gotta
money
be.
getting thrown about. But I going working in a guy's house. I'd go and see the guy, and if he was a dick, I'd be like, nah, I'm cool, man.
So
But
you
if
would
he
judge
was
him on his
alright-
personality rather
Aye,
than
if
his
he was
occupation.
alright, I would take his money off him, and I would add on a wee bit more because he was a vaccine guy.
And he's probably getting a good bit of bunch.
Well, if you look how much they've made, if you look how much they've, like,
Have you seen the Moderna stock, the stock exchange graph, right? It's flat, and then it's like the start of this year. Whoa,
Crazy.
it's like 8,000% up.
Crazy. They've made so much
Unreal,
dough.
man.
So much dough.
When we were talking about subscription models earlier on, so a subscription model for a washing machine, a subscription model for a car. It's a subscription model for a vaccine.
Aye.
Because it's like, going to need another booster, 6 months.
It's
I've just
a
had
crazy,
no. It's time. Your subscription's up.
Mental. The money's crazy. The money's so crazy what they're making. But then you have a vaccine company that has the same money as Apple, right? And they've got as much power as Apple. They can do what they want. You know what I mean?
And the governments won't let you criticise them. Imagine not being able to criticise Apple. Imagine the government or YouTube or Twitter censoring you and cancelling you for criticising Apple and the iPhone. Going, I'm not really... I think I'll stick to Samsung if that's all right.
They could say that. If Apple wanted to, they could say to YouTube.
But everybody would go, that's a bit mental.
That's a bit mental.
But when it's criticising the product of another company that happens to be a pharmaceutical company, you can't eat what? You want to criticise what?
Gemma was watching that thing. I don't know what channel it's on, man. I just caught bits. Michael Keaton was in it.
Aye, what's the film? Tell us the name of the film.
I don't know. It's about the Oxycontin.
Aye.
Did you see it?
What's it? They were talking about that No Agenda
How
recently, Cam.
mental, man.
What's the score?
No, it's no.
0-0, right.
They were talking about what on No Agenda?
The Michael Keaton film about Oxycontin, remember?
Apparently it's really good.
Oh, it's really good. It's excellent. But
It's
how
not a
mental?
series.
It's a series.
Aye.
But they were saying, it's no addictive or anything like that. And then every cunt was getting addicted.
Aye. And now it's
Every
like,
cunt.
it's a prime on, like,
But these
drug
people,
on the street.
these people, they're all zombies, right?
Aye.
And it's a thing they made to give to people to help pain. Oh, we've got this drug here. You want to try it? What the fuck? Who allows it to say? Well, I think the guy who done Oxycontin, he was he was an FDA, says that it's cool, and then he got on the board of the Oxycontin company after it. Aye, it's mental. I don't know, man.
See Pfizer. It took Pfizer, was it like something like 5 months to come up with their mRNA injections and get them ready for approval in about 5 months, and the FDA sealed the results of that trial period for 55 years.
55 years?
55 years.
Jeez, oh.
So we'll be dead before it will come out what was actually done during these trials.
Wait a minute. 55 years, I might not be dead.
Right, okay, you might not be dead. I probably will be.
55 years, I will be
96. Would you want to still be alive at 96?
I'll still be shagging at 96.
You wouldn't. You won't be able to go to Switzerland to get put down because you've got to be fully vaccinated to get euthanised.
Put down.
I'll take a vaccine when I'm 96 to kill me.
That's one way to go. I'd rather just go to Switzerland, just get the nice, peaceful injection rather than.
Fuck, freaks me out that shit.
Blood clots.
Freaks me out that shit when you think about it. See, when you get, I don't want to talk about it because it's quite morbid, but see when you think about it and you think, one day I'll be dead. Fucking hell, one day I'll be dead.
You won't know.
You'll not know, but it's fucking mental because it's just a mental thing. It's fucking, it's a crazy thing. You're older than me though, I suppose, so you maybe thought about that more. Do you know what I mean? As you go on in life, but maybe you stop thinking about it. I know a guy who says...
I don't think about it very often now.
One of my mates says that he waits till he gets to 50. He'll wait till he gets to 50 and then he'll evaluate his life and see what's going on.
Aye.
He's just going to get through it now, just do whatever he's doing to get through to his 50. And
How
he's
old
going
is he now?
My age, 38. And
Aye,
then he's going to look at it and then just say when he's 50, did I have a good up to 50? What am I going to do now?
All right, okay.
You know?
All right, okay.
Which is interesting.
Aye, I've been kind of doing that this year leading up to 50. And Hen's been in here now. It's like, right,
do you think,
no more fucking about.
are you looking forward to being 50?
I don't get it's just a number though, isn't it? But but then I'm kind of slightly philosophical every new year. When I go into a new year, I'm like, right, it's a new year, let's see what I'm going to do different or whatever. And my birthday's close to New Year anyway. So obviously this next year it'll probably be a bit more introspective and all that, you know. If you get wind at any surprise parties, Cam, you need to tell me.
But then it wouldn't be a surprise.
Because I'll not fucking be there. That'll be the fucking surprise.
Would you not like to? I don't think they can do a surprise party if you have a heart attack.
There's only about 3 people going to be there, do you know what I mean?
He's a prick. That right wing guy, fuck going to his party.
I don't see anyone throwing you a surprise birthday, to be fair. Like, because of that exact reaction. Like, anyone that knows you would go, he'd fucking hate that.
Aye.
Correct.
Gemma threw a surprise party for me for one 30th.
Aye.
I fucking hated it.
Did you not enjoy it at all?
No one bit. No one bit.
See?
I fucking hated turn up. I hated it. I hated everything.
How did they
about
lure
it.
you to it? What was the
They
premise?
says it was like an engagement party for like people we know, like a family friend type thing.
Aye,
And I
and you
would have,
didn't twig?
No, I would have went to it because they were I like them and that. You know, I'd have went. And had
Do you
a
know
good
all I'm
time.
hearing in my head is the start of that Who song? Wow! And that one won't get fooled again. It's like,
in,
I could just see you being the Gemma. Where are we going?
Aye.
It's a. Is it?
It was in the village hall though, man.
Oh,
Fucking
fuck's
high.
sake.
You know what I mean?
Did folk come up for Glasgow and Cambuslang and all that?
DJ,
for it?
aye. A
DJ?
My family were
A
up.
DJ? Did they have lights and everything?
Aye. My
Fuck's
family were
sake.
there and they were like walking about the village during the day, fucking like quickly going to here and there so that I wouldn't bump into them or that. You know, I never even seen any of them.
Fucking hell.
I never liked it. I mean, it was nice.
Did you need
it
to do a
was good.
speech?
Nah, I think I maybe just says, you know what I mean? I don't know. I was like, whatever, man. Thanks for coming, whatever, you know.
Did you get drunk?
Nah, I don't really get. I get drunk, man, but no like crazy drunk. You know, I don't like drinking, man. I just don't get it.
Bit of heroin?
That done me, man. No, I never even smoked at that time either. So, no, it was fine.
You
It
want to
was
smoke
alright.
crack back then? No.
Nah. It was fine. It was alright.
I remember, we were round at my mate's once, and we were in the living room, and his dad and his mates were like out in the garage playing poker, and all of a sudden we see his dad like crawling up the stairs, and we were like, "What the fuck? What's happening?" And then like a day later, my mate goes, "Aye, they were out the back smoking morphine, or like
Fucking hell.
like,
How would you smoke morphine?
or it was, I don't know if they were smoking it or if like pills or something,
Aye,
but I think
aye.
it was like something, and we were just like,
What?
Jesus.
no, it wasn't even like that. We were just like, all right.
Aye, fair enough.
And then,
Best of luck.
then kind of we bit
Hey,
later on, you
what?
go,
That's
I don't know,
mental.
That's mental what we
Fucking
can do. What is it, Albert Camus or Albert Camus, whatever you want to say? He's a big nihilist.
Alright.
He's dead now though, but he's probably loves
Took
it.
it
He's
too
dead
far.
as well.
He's
No,
nihilism.
he says like everybody's bored, so all we're doing is just accumulating habits,
Right.
which seems to be, I don't know, maybe.
Aye.
It's just funny what people do. People can do anything, man. You know, the stuff that you can go and take for your body to make you can take shit that makes your whole body feel different, which is pretty crazy. And it's legal. You can do it and you can drive a car and all that at the same time.
What like?
Anything. You could get steaming drunk, right? And then go and drive a car.
Aye. But that's not legal though, is it?
It's not legal.
Oh, the drinking's not illegal.
Aye, the drinking's not illegal,
Aye,
you know
that
what I mean?
bit's
But
fine.
still,
Aye,
you
aye,
could.
aye.
There's a lot of crazy stuff that could happen,
Aye.
and it doesn't really happen. This is what I mean. Like, see when you go about and you see stuff, and it's like, oh, there's fucking terror here, there's fucking this here, there's that there, and it's then I was listening to some other day, and I'm sitting in the car at Dumbarton, and I'm like, it's not really here. I'm all right. The guy in front of me is fine. A guy just let me in at a junction there, and he waved at me and all that. It's like, it's not really. I think we're all right. I don't think, you know what I mean? It's just, with the amount of shit that could go wrong, we kind of do all right.
Aye.
We kind of get by fine, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But
Aye. As long as we keep the government and their stuff out of our business, we're usually all right.
I think they know everything anyway. I think they know everything. Andy Watson sent me the thing, an FBI thing about what they can see.
Right.
It was like I'll show. It was like a picture. It was hard to see, but it was the powers that the FBI have got for WhatsApp and Facebook and all that shit and Messenger and all that.
So there's no privacy.
I never thought there was privacy anyway. I thought everybody knew everything about you.
Aye.
All the banks online anyway. You know, I thought everybody knew everything.
I would agree. I think they probably do.
But
But-
speaking about branding again, like the whole Facebook origin story, that's a fucking brand.
Aye.
That's a fucking.
There you go. It's exactly it, Cam. It's exactly fucking it. The two fucking Winklevoss guys, they were rose. They probably never even fucking battled. The guy who paid gave him money, and then
It was already Facebook.
You know
was
a lot about it, Neil.
Facebook,
I watched the film, Social Network.
It's a good
But
film.
it's a fucking brilliant.
It's a
film.
great movie.
But it's such a. It's
The
such
movie
a
wants
fake
you to go.
story.
I was not on Facebook until I seen the movie,
Yeah, that's-
and then I
yeah.
got on after I watched the movie. Same as all
Yeah.
that shit. It's all branding, man. All fucking branding. Him being the wee weirdo. He is obviously a fucking. He's probably a
He's a
robot though. He's
fucking
probably
weirdo.
some sort of droid or whatever. But it's
See the idea of Facebook that was I can't remember which corporation had come up with that.
Oh,
But it was
right.
basically a way. It's basically a way to easily grab hundreds of like millions of folks' data willingly, and
Aye.
then have that in a database that you can have like forever. It
Yeah,
was
no.
I can't remember, but it basically didn't pass what they weren't going to make it because of that, because it was
Aye.
unethical, and then they just changed the branding about it a wee bit, made it all about friends and all that,
So
and social.
Do you guys think the CIA were involved in the creation of the likes of Facebook and Google?
Oh, aye, man, totally.
Like early doors, like
Totally.
it's been, it started as a grassroots thing, but then they've
You
got
try, to
with it,
tell,
and
me, you
then
try
they're
to tell me that a couple of fucking uni students, yeah, look, we've got this search engine we've been building.
Aye.
Fuck off.
The whole-
You got that technology
Yeah.
there, I fuck off.
The whole creation of the internet was so that you could have decentralized military conversations. First of all, on a national level, and then at a global level.
Aye.
So that if like telephone lines and that were cut down, and then you couldn't actually contact folk in another barrack, you had this. It wasn't called the internet back then, but it was
Aye.
a communication device that the military were using before it even got into the hands of like
Aye.
every day. And then it became like this open source. It was all open source back in the day, man. You
Well,
could
that's
get-
well, it's like the guy. Did I tell you that about the guy who was at Miramar in San Diego, and he was saying how this guy who I worked with was a guy who was 72 with the bench press, but he was like a big business guy back in the day, and he went to Miramar, which is the naval base or whatever it is, and they were in a room, and it was nighttime, and then they says, right, watch this, and then they switched the light, and everything out the window was the right color for daytime. And then they went outside, and he says, look, you see, it's nighttime. And they went inside, and he says, well, the technology's like 30 years advanced for what we know. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's like that now. I don't even know if that's real. He could be lying as well. He could have been another fucking Reg, you know. But it was a good story at lunchtime, you know, on a fucking freezing cold building site. I was like, really? But he did know this. He did kind of know stuff, and I don't know. Maybe.
did they though?
No, I think he did. But I mean, if you
He's in
think
the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king.
is that a
He's all
JW
that.
thing?
Oh, is that right? Is that
he's,
right? He's like, yeah.
But if he's got
Turned the lights.
30 years ahead, right? So like you tell, so that this technology on the iPhone and that was available 30 years ago, right? Well,
Aye, I'm
probably
sure-
longer for the
aye,
iPhone,
aye.
right? But we must be able to read minds then and now.
That's a leap from the iPhone to being able to
No,
read
but if
minds.
it's 30 years,
But I suppose
between
thoughts
30
are
and
just
50 years.
electrical pulses, aren't they?
that's what I'm saying.
Maybe that's what the metaverse is actually all about, is to get folk
Maybe.
and just mine.
Have you signed up? Do you need to pay for it?
We were talking about this earlier on.
I don't know if you need to pay.
if it's free, you are the product.
True.
If something like the fucking metaverse is going to be a free platform you can use,
Yeah.
then fuck me, man. It's like
You
what's
added in the
actually happening?
spreadsheet that somebody spent $650,000 on a yacht for the metaverse.
On a yacht?
That's I mean,
That's a lot
there's
of money.
flexes, and then there's. I mean, is that a flex, or are you just making yourself? Is your flex the fact that you're a fucking cunt?
Well,
Look how much
no,
of a
no,
cunt
no,
I
no,
am.
no,
Behold my
no,
cuntiness.
no.
I have bought
No.
a $650,000 digital avatar.
No, it's an investment. They're
So they're
buying
seeing it as an NFT
They're
in a
buying
way?
that as $60,000 in the hopes that eventually-
650,000.
650, in the hopes that when stuff actually picks up off the ground and currency itself completely changes, that they can probably sell that for like a whole.
That's pretty
fucking
mental.
loads
Do you think it will be
more.
Metabucks? Do you think that will be the new one world digital currency?
Metabucks.
Metabucks.
That'd be funny, man. You know, see, that'd be funny like in years
Do you think we
to
should
come.
register metabucks.com?
That's probably
Howland,
not a bad one.
Howland, don't you fucking dare.
It'd be
My
funny in
idea.
like years to come. That'll
Timestamp
be it.
this.
Oh, that guy,
2022.
that guy's minted, man. He's got that guy's fucking minted. He's got metabucks, man. You know, rather than megabucks,
It's
like,
like
that would be
all
the new
the
one.
bucks. Metabucks means every buck.
Bucks. Fuck, it's mental, but I don't know if it will take off, man. You know, I know a few people who have got NFTs.
Aye, I know. I know.
Aye, that's
It's,
they just bought them to see if they would go up.
and have they?
I don't know, but you can make your own.
Aye.
It's fucking shite.
Sorry for yawning all the time, guys. I can explain why I'm yawning if that's it. Used to anybody.
Explain.
I don't know if.
Explain yourself.
So what were you guys talking about later on? Your circadian rhythm? Is that what it was called? Aye. What is that's to do with sleeping that, isn't it?
It's your,
aye.
it's your innate body clock.
My innate body clock's fucked. Totally fucked.
Right.
So I've been waking up at like 2 a.m. and
aye.
just awake.
Why?
I don't know.
Don't know.
I'm awake. And then last night, Cam, I went home for work, got my youngest, not had dinner with him and stuff. He comes in at the back of 6 or whatever, leaves at back of 7. And then the next thing I know, it's midnight and I'm still lying on the couch fully clothed. So I fell asleep.
Right.
So because my couch is also my bed, I made it into the bed and all that, got into bed. And then about an hour later, I woke up and I'm like, oh, fuck, was my daughter in for work? Turns out she wasn't, but she was fine. She was running at her mum's. And then fell asleep again, and the dog woke me up at 3:30, and I've been awake since.
Aye.
What's going on? And Mary's exactly the same.
A good hard brandy. I think you need. Does brandy make you sleep?
I don't know. I don't want to use
That's
it.
weird.
It's
So what time you got? Oh, that's weird waking up.
7 o'clock at night to 12 o'clock at night, and then
You're probably overstimulated.
I need a bit of exercise.
Aye, that's exactly what it is.
Aye.
It's exactly what it is, Cam.
Exercise, you sleep like a fucking baby, man.
but I was sleeping. I was sleeping at 7 o'clock or 7:30
Aye, but you're
Till
waking
when?
up.
Like
till,
what?
till midnight, and then a wee bit, and then sort of on and off
Aye,
until back at 3.
But you're getting up though at like a crazy time. If I don't know, I don't know. It probably doesn't help falling asleep at 7:30.
No.
No, it's not something I would normally do, but I'd put a documentary on about this guy he's of Nepalese descent, I think, and he was going to do the 8. Is it the 8 highest peaks? So you've got Everest, Kilimanjaro, K2, all that. He was going to do all of them in the space of 16 months.
Ben
Ben Lomond, aye, a Monroe bagger. Aye, so I was watching that, but it must have been a bit dull because I say the next thing I know, the TV's off.
Aye.
My lights automatically off at 10 o'clock. I'm lying pitch black across the couch, fully clothed. The dog's crashed out beside me.
No. There was one time I done it. I came back from somewhere, and I thought it was jet lag, but I was fine. And then a week later, it hit me. So nobody could wake me up at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was out cold.
At 4 in the afternoon.
Out cold.
Oh, that's
But
a waste,
see the
innit?
week. See the week after the week we flew in. We were fine. I was fine for a week, and then the week after it hit me, and I had to go and drop a job off. I was dropping my job off a guy. I had a guy who had a man in van thing, and I was in the van with him, and I would fall asleep like that. And then I'd wake up, oh, fuck it. And he'd be fucking, you're right. But I just couldn't keep myself
It's horrible,
winged.
isn't
It was weird.
Aye.
But it was a week later.
it? Aye, that's weird.
It was weird. Aliens. No, I think that's maybe it. Maybe you just need to fucking cut out the telly time, the screen time.
Aye, it's just,
it's probably-
it's my body clock's fucked. It's really,
Well, they say
And it's
3
annoying
days,
as
3
well.
days, and that's you. That's you. 3 days.
and you're stuck in it.
No, 3 days. Your body clock. You can, if you start getting up early
Aye.
and you do that for 3 days. That's you're just used to
I'm
getting
normally
up.
awake. I'm normally awake no later than 5 a.m. Usually about 3:30. But that's been
Really?
the case. Aye, that's been the case for a long
You
time.
wake up at 4:30 like Jocko Willnick.
But I don't set an alarm. It's
What
just
do
when I
you
wake
do?
up. I get up
You
and
don't make a big deal out of it though. You know, you just do it. You just get on the
You
grind.
just do it.
You just
aye, exactly. I didn't start a fucking podcast to talk about how I got up at
You've no
4:30.
set up like a big, massive, fucking worldwide
store.
international business.
Aye,
Aye.
exactly.
So you've done it wrong then.
Aye.
You're just a mug getting up at 4.
Aye. No, it's when I wake up. It's just when
Yeah,
when
I
I'm
know, I
awake.
know, I
So what do? I get up and I have 3 coffees spread over an hour, do a bit of reading, check up on a few things, watch a few YouTube videos, and then eat. So when I had my bedroom turned into the studio, I would be in there and I'd be starting working. And now what I've been doing since we moved in here is I'm in here for 6,
Oh, aye.
which is fine. Because it's nice in here. It is pretty cool in here, isn't it?
Aye, it's nice.
It's
aye.
a cool place to
Aye,
come
aye.
in the morning, isn't it, Cam? Now we've got my kind of palpitations have eased with the trains and all that.
Did you actually have like heart palpitations?
No.
And that? All right, thank fuck, man.
No.
It's like because
That was
I don't know, you can't joke about that stuff without actually kind of going, "Eh,
Get over it.
Get over it.
just don't make a big
It
deal.
was funny
just
'cause
don't make a big deal. out of it."
I had a heart attack. Don't make a
See when
big deal
folk
of
would
it.
say stuff like, "Oh, you nearly gave him a heart attack," and I'd be like, "Too soon." Right, so folk listening, either later on when you're out having a wank, having a wank,
Where are you off to tonight? Oh, wait for a master.
just down in the park. Oh, is it a game of no? It's still a wank. How does this look and sound? Because obviously this is our first time trying it with this kind of format. So Neil and I are actually sitting across from each other. But we thought we would keep it the wee squares because that's the way we've always done it, and it saves having to have a big wide angle or a small wide angle lens and switching camera angles. So how's it looking? How's it sounding? Let us know in the comments, because we will be wrapping this up in a couple of minutes and getting ready for the Patreon only live show. That's it.
Sometimes I wish I was I look good enough to have an OnlyFans, man. There's guys that have got OnlyFans. Fucking brilliant.
Are they? Have you signed up to a few?
Loads. I find them on Reddit. No, there's fucking hell. But people are making money that way. People are making money that way. They're making fucking loads of money.
All you do is, in this life, you only subscribe to the body that you've got. You just subscribe to it. And what you're giving fans the opportunity to do is to join you in that subscription for the low cost of whatever it is for an OnlyFans thing. Patreon.com/SMRE, however, is excellent value for money, Neil. Shall I tell you about it?
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, that's great.
Please fill me in.
So it costs £4 a month, and in the UK, taxes added, that was just 20% on top. So that's £4.8. It's less than £5, which is probably in the region of a decent coffee in a sort of high street multinational coffee shop. But for that £5, you can join us in the private show that starts after this, which tends to be, we'll go into topics that we wouldn't talk about in a public one because we would get cancelled. You get access to the Telegram group chat, obviously the back catalogue of all the members only stuff we've done, and
sorry for cutting you off. Drink new people go back and read the messages right for the very start
on that Telegram group chat. I think they would. I think if they had a serious mental health issue pre-existing, they would, because it's shite. The chat is not. It's not shite as in the content shite. It's just awful.
Aye. No, I think
I had to comment. I know it's funny. They were talking about me.
Aye.
And I was like, guys, you do know I can see these.
That's my favourite ones. I like to laugh. I like to laugh at the ones. I always reply with the 3 laughing emojis when they mention something about you. Right, continue on with the ad. Sorry.
No, so that's the ad. Patreon.com/SMRE. And if you fancy just chucking as a tip, if you like, you can buy us a coffee for the low price of £3. Buymeacoffee.com/SMRE. We've got to pay for this somehow, Neil, don't we?
Pay the bills.
Got to pay, keep the lights on. You wanted the fucking heating on.
No, I don't want the heating on. I'm fine like this. This is a nice
good, because we're not putting the fucking heating on. It's an electric heater. Any idea what the bill's going to be?
It'd be dear
and
as
it's
fuck.
not even pay as you go. I'm going to get a bill in 3 months.
Be dear, man.
Fucking hell.
When you see the meter going, man, that's it. You know, that's what I do. See if I open it's the shoe cupboard, it's called, right, where the shoes and the jackets are, and I see the wee meter, see when it's flashing the red light, I'm fucking running about. I'm like, who's in the shower? Who's fucking Jimmy? You've left the cooker on. Get that fucking off. Come on, I'm fucking running about.
See, before you get to see the meter, because it's in the shoe cupboard, you need to take a lot of your shoes out.
No,
first.
it's up high.
Is it? Right, that's quite good. Do you stand on your shoes?
I keep the shoes that I keep in rotation in my cupboard in the bedroom.
How's the tennis ball strategy going? Is it still
good?
Working?
Actually, see, since I've been getting up and exercising regularly and doing all that, it's I've never had any bother with it.
That's
so
good. That's really good.
I think I might have stretched out. I moved from a tennis ball onto a really solid ball. Really stretched out.
Aye. That's good. That's what she
out.
said. Right, any comments before we conclude this week's episode, Cam?
Gordy Browse says we made some boxes for an NFT thing. The boys were selling NFTs with that, and with that came a bottle of Talisker glass and hip flask. I'll send photos to the chat.
That's pretty
later
cool.
On. So there you go. If you want.
So they were getting everything for the NFT. Wonder how much. Well, an NFT does it no start? They no all start about £1,500. I might be totally wrong in saying that.
I know nothing.
I thought they all started at £1,500, but I might be fucking. That's.
You might be wrong.
Total. I'm not an NFT expert. Talisker. I saw the thing made the Talisker distillery when I was up in Skye there at the weekend. I never went in on that.
Did you enjoy Skye?
I thought it was beautiful. I liked it. But I went and I says, I think we'll go to the Coolins.
Oh, aye.
So I just typed in the sat nav, the Coolins, and it takes you to a bit. But I was expecting like the Grand Canyon. I was wanting like a visitor centre and that in a bit, but there's fuck all. It's just mountains. And there's
Very dangerous mountains because
Aye.
they've got their own magnetic field or something like that.
do they?
Aye, it's like a false magnetic north they
Oh, I
generate or
never
something
knew that.
crazy.
But
Matt in the chat, if he's still in the chat, he used to be a mountaineer.
oh, aye.
He'd better fill us in on
No,
that.
aye. So it was funny. I was expecting all this fucking gear, all this, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is a Coolins and this is a bit this
It's
fuck.
just a bunch of mountains.
That's it, man. Aye, and I was, is this it? This must be
I
it.
just want to buy a t-shirt.
You know what I mean? The boys are like, is this it? Aye.
I visited
Aye.
the Coolins and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. You would want that, wouldn't you?
Here's some encouraging feedback for you. Have they blocked out the train sound, or did they go down the bomb scare route?
Oh, it's good.
No, what we did was we combined one of the moral dilemmas we discussed in last week's private members only show, patreon.com/SMRE, where we talked about the track thing. So you use one body in a track and blah blah blah. So what we did was we got the security guard was doing his rounds earlier on. We got a hold of him. Neil distracted them. Cam and I put a burlap sack over his head, tied it up, and we tied him to the train tracks about a mile down the road. I think he's still there. We'll let him go once this is all done.
No hard feelings. We
So
just
in other
wanted
words,
to get
it's
some
not-
clean audio.
Aye, so in other words, folk haven't been noticing the trains.
I'm assuming that's what
I've
it
not been
means.
noticing them. I've got to be honest with you. I've not been hearing them.
No,
in
I
my
mean,
headphones.
I've heard them like outside the headphones, but it's not really.
But not coming through
Nah.
the mics. No, that's good. That's progress.
Aye, I think
Big
when
time.
you're talking, I think if you have anybody in here doing this, they're talking.
Aye.
I don't
Still a wee
think
bit
it'll-
of echo, but the curtains will,
Yeah,
know,
and
soft
it's-
furnishings.
There's still another one there to go
Still
as
another
well.
panel
So.
we got up. Yep, I've got the metal work arrived for that.
Did it?
yesterday.
Aye. All right, cool.
Can't believe he told me 2 out of everything, and it was 4.
Aye. Well, I think when he's been looking at it, when he was drawing out the wee
Don't make
sketch thing.
excuses.
No, when he was drawing out the wee,
Unprofessional.
when he was drawing out the wee sketch, it was all based on one, I think, you know, and then he's looked at it, and then that's probably why. But well,
So what we're talking about is, and if you follow SMRE podcast on Instagram, you'll have seen pictures. We've got above us here, custom made, and that's something we should be proud of, I think, Cam. Custom made acoustic baffle that's suspended to the ceiling with rope and pulleys, and the brackets that hold it in at the ceiling are handmade for scratch, weren't they? He designed and made them
oh,
himself.
he made everything. Aye.
He's used part of gearing from an old tractor or something like
Aye, I
that.
think it was like a 1930s tractor or something that he got on a 1930s tractor or something on that island with the naturists.
Aye.
That's where he got the
Brilliant.
thing for. So aye.
So bespoke, and then what we've done is we've hung some tube lights on to provide some of the lighting. I have got to be honest, I think it's
It's brilliant, man. I think
looks
it's brilliant.
Aye.
Hopefully it sounds good as well. I don't know.
Aye.
We shall hear.
Yes, we shall. So feedback appreciated, folks. If you're listening to the podcast, rate us on iTunes and give us 5 stars.
Yes.
Apple Podcast, I think it's called now. If you like us on Spotify, just keep listening, and then we'll be top 5. And that's fucking brilliant.
Spotify
we
might
need-
give us a deal.
Aye.
We need to get like 50 really cheap smartphones, download Spotify and all of them, create an account on all of them, and just keep the episodes running over
yeah.
and
Yeah,
over
you're
again.
looking.
Looping them
Looping
over
it.
and over.
Aye,
Just, I think he talked about that on No Agenda, actually.
Aye.
Because it was
Good
like
shout, man.
there was like these weird talk shows that were propping up as like #1 podcast in
Aye.
UK or blah blah blah, like getting more
That's
views
funny,
and
man.
listens than the BBC.
It's
And,
pretty mental.
Aye.
That's what my cousin was saying to me. He was saying, "Oh, you can get that. He was saying about you can pay for that. You pay so much money for like 50,000 YouTube views or something, and you do all that, and it's not even a lot of money." He was saying you
But
can just
nobody's
scam
actually
it.
watching it.
No, but he was saying you can just scam it because he was talking about getting the AdSense money, and I'm
Aye.
like, that's interesting, aye. But imagine making your money right from doing fake stuff that never really,
Aye.
you know what I mean? I don't know if people care, but
I'm sure that in these farms, because that's what they call it.
Aye,
These
it's like
folk work as
farms, isn't
farms, they don't care.
your thing. Say your YouTube channel,
Oh, right.
and then
aye,
you
make
start paying.
Aye.
And you get like 50,000 views of a video, and you're like, "Oh yes, I'm doing great," but you're getting AdSense money, and it's like you would take the money
hollow.
fine, but you'd be like, "This isn't
It's
really
hollow.
It's
isn't
just a
it?
waste of your time." I think.
Aye. You have a bit of integrity. We're creating art here. We're artists.
NFTs.
Oh, there you go.
Why have we not made an NFT for this?
That's what I'm saying. I
We
don't
could
know.
easily clip a bit out and say that's an NFT.
I think we just clip the bit out where you say, "I'm an international podcaster. I should know how to deal with this." Just
Make
and
it an
just,
NFT.
Just make that an
So
NFT,
you can sell it.
and we'll get somebody to design like a cartoon character you, but it's the massive head with the bobble hat and then it's the wee body with a 6-pack.
Aye.
But you'll never be able to say that sentence ever again because someone owns that.
Somebody
now.
owns that,
Yeah,
aye.
you can't.
Really, is that how it
Nah,
works?
I don't-
But I think
That's
so. But
mental.
No, it's not. No, because you can still
It's
screenshot the
displayed
NFT.
on a screen. It's
Yeah.
displayed on a screen.
Wow.
Aye, you can screenshot it, aye.
So what value is it to you? What to the person that buys the NFT? What value is
None.
it to? None.
It means nothing.
But the-
I've asked
So
many
that's just
guys.
like life then, isn't it?
Aye.
This is interesting, right? There's a website that allows you to buy a certain amount of a piece of art, like a famous
Oh,
piece
right,
of art.
okay,
So
aye.
like, let's say like a piece of a Van
Yeah.
Gogh painting or whatever, and I don't know how they calculate how the price can go up and down on the value of the painting,
Aye.
but basically you're like buying a stock in a painting.
Yeah, that's it, aye.
It's weird, man.
I think that's the way we're going, man.
Yeah. But how
You own nothing and you'll be happy.
No, but-
Just
no,
wee bits of things.
Aye, it's like it's weird, right? Because how do they? It's a painting. It's painted. It's there. It's already. How can you? How does the value on that change over time?
Yeah.
Maybe it's to do with like.
Trends, storytelling,
Yeah.
marketing, branding, anything, man, you know?
So but I will. It must be so easy to like. It's harder to pump a stock, but it's probably so easy to like pump the price of a painting.
Easy, man.
'Cause you just
Well,
go,
I think
like-
the whole thing is say you are friends with somebody who owns a gallery and the gallery has a lot of collectors that come in and it's quite a popular one, and then they say, listen, I'll put your painting in, and then they
Aye.
just give you all this shit and say, and then somebody buys it for 50 grand, and then that's you. You're fucking, that's you, artist. You're a
Aye.
good selling artist, you know?
Do you think we could sell an episode of the podcast for 50 grand?
Aye. Fucking right.
Patreon.com/SMRE.
It's funny. It's a funny one. I think that's where we're heading, though, man. It's very funny.
Aye, it's a very different. It's a very. There's no fucking other way to slice or dice it. It's a very different world.
I think
we're
because we've
moving
done
into.
everything. I think everybody's done everything. So it's like, listen, is there anything else?
We had to bring this COVID in just to slow us down.
Well, did you see? Who was I talking to? Somebody was telling me about NFTs. They've bought the famous Michael Jordan picture of him with a slam dunk, and I think it's somebody that I know. I think it's their girlfriend of that, is it no? Sure, it might be, and it's their company that own it, and then they'll auction that off or whatever, or sell it as a Michael Jordan NFT. They own that picture. I'm like, but how can you own it? I could just Google it
Aye.
and then see
It's
the
there.
picture, but it's like, no, but that's theirs, so they can put it on a digital screen in their house or whatever. And I'm like, but
You could do that.
Aye, I could do
Put
that.
an iPad in the wall
Aye.
with that picture up.
That's what I mean. It's that much nonsense. No, unless we could get an NFT
It's Emperor's
specialist
new
in here.
clothes. Do you not think that's the way? Since 2020, the world has been. It's fucking Emperor's new clothes everywhere. It's like nothing's real.
No, not
It's built, and folk are just going, "Oh yeah, that's right. I'm really scared." Or, "Oh, that's wonderful." No, that's fake.
It's
That's
like
bullshit.
It's look at Chernobyl, that TV show. People only says Chernobyl was good because everybody else was saying it was good, right? It wasn't that good,
It was all right.
right? And I know people who love it, right? Whatever. It's the same as like there's a load of shit like that, you know. Game of Thrones, it's kind of like that. And that's it. Nothing's real. Everybody just jumps on. Oh, I'm fucking want to do that. This is cool. I'm cool. I'm one of the people. Look what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a Gucci jumper. It's fucking hideous. But oh, look at me. You know, it's
Yeezys.
weird.
See,
Yeezys look comfy, man. I would think I would get a pair. They want.
But I bet they're known. I bet they don't really want to be known as looking comfy. They want.
aye.
They want to be known as looking stylish.
Aye. I think they look comfier more than stylish because they look fucking hideous. They look like slippers kind of thing, you know?
Aye. Aye.
see the thing with an NFT though,
Right.
just because it doesn't matter what you can and can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It just matters that it's expensive.
Aye.
You know what I mean? It's like it's
That's where
it's
we're
the-
at.
Aye.
As long as it's expected. I don't care what it is. Just just tell me how much it is. Make it as high as you want because I want to, you know?
Aye. I think that's good.
Fucking brilliant, man.
Because it's value in it. Value is completely subjective, so it's just
Yeah.
like cool. This picture of Michael Jordan is worth 1.3 million.
Aye.
Says
Then
who? Somebody.
No, well,
So
the
QR code.
thing is though, is this is worth 1.3 million now. It could be worth 5 million,
Fucking
or
crazy.
it could be worth 100,000.
How much do you think a QR code for a person who's had the 2 injections plus the 4 follow-up boosters will be worth?
Oh, that's
Priceless, I would have thought. Because I would have to think,
Is each one individual?
aye. So you've
Individual to you.
You've seen the poster in
Aye.
Dublin,
Aye.
and it's you've got to get your booster shot to be considered fully vaccinated. Privileges will only be given to those who are fully vaccinated. So, I mean, we could go into the whole big thing. Wait a minute, they're calling privileges what used to be basic human rights, but that's fucking doesn't matter. But at the bottom of the picture, it's like a fucking Starbucks loyalty card, and with a syringe, and the first 2 have got a tick in it. So you've had your first 2 shots,
that's cool.
and then there's 4 other ones that don't have a tick in it. So it's your 4 booster shots. So my question is, how much will a QR code for a person who's had the 2 shots plus the 4 boosters be worth? Because I would have to think, being a relatively rational person, by the time they start saying you have to get your 4th or your 5th or your 6th, most cunts will have went, fuck off, this is getting ridiculous. So it will be a tiny, tiny minority of brain dead idiots, brain damaged because of like the clots. Now, I don't know. Brain dead idiots who are going for the 6th shot, right? So there'll be a handful of these QR codes.
So rare.
How rare will they be? How much will they be
It's
worth?
like
That's
a
an NFT.
shiny football card.
Aye.
Oh my god! Look what I just
I got a
unpacked.
shiny, shiny.
So they can only stop at like 6 or that though. 'Cause see
Well,
the way
that's
it's
what the
going.
poster was saying. 6.
Aye, but do you think it'll just keep going?
No, but it
People
will keep
will
going because
become-
it's another
people will-
subscription model.
People can't
Do you
be
want your free? Do you want to
comfortable
go to the cinema? Do you want to go to the gym? Do you want to go on holiday? Well, you've got to subscribe.
Do you think
How
people
do
will
you
be doing that,
subscribe?
man?
People,
No, I mean, but
I don't think everybody will. I think there's going to be more and more folk will go. No,
I don't think
come
people
on
will be
now.
like, I'm going for a jag all the time.
Because
with-
now they're up in it. It's, it's 6 months to your boot. No, now it's 3 months. So it's going to be 4 times a year.
I don't think that's healthy.
Can it be?
I don't think that's healthy. But while I mean, it's a fucking goes on and on all the time. It's like you know what I mean, fast food and all that still there readily. Nobody gives a fuck. They make the most money, man. They
You
don't
don't
give a
need
fuck.
to eat fast food.
What?
You don't need to eat fast
Was
food
that the argument?
in order to go to work or go on holiday. It's not like how many McDonald's you had this week? 3. Right,
Aye.
that's all right. If you had your 4 KFCs, I've only had 2 KFCs. Sorry, you can't get on the
Aye,
plane.
but no, I'm just meaning for health wise. It's like there's all this money they could put it into
Tackling obesity.
I mean, it's the biggest killer.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Aye. Funny that.
Like more than anything.
So answers on a postcard, how much will the first QR code for the person who's had the 4 booster shots be worth by the end of next
Imagine
year?
having all these jags. That's fucking a pain in the arse having to go for that all the
When
time.
was the last time you had a jag?
Oh, I don't know.
Cam, when was the last time you had a jag?
I think school.
School.
So like maybe 3rd year or something like that.
Right, okay. So that's about, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that?
Aye, I can't
I'm
I'm
9 years
bad
ago.
at
I
maths.
can remember 9 years ago. It was a vaccine thing for going away.
Oh, aye.
That was the last time. And then before that, it was a tetanus shot because I get my rabbit bit me or something. I can't even
Aye.
remember. And that was about 10 years before that.
I think I'm a bit.
20 years before it.
I don't even think I had probably the last time I had a jag was school, like BCG probably. What's the BCG?
They don't get that anymore.
What were
That
they
was
pumping it into me?
That was, remember it used to seep green pus and all that. That was for a tuberculosis or something.
Oh, aye.
TB. Aye.
TB.
Aye.
Aye, that was the last time I got it, so it was 14, 15.
But now it's every 6 months and then every 3 months.
I'm quite cool no doing it. I'm quite cool saying, nah, fuck this, I'm no bothering. It's just weird. It's like, couldn't give a fuck. It's like, I don't understand. It's like, I'm fine. I'm fine. And if everybody else gets vaccinated, then that's cool as well, because
They're protected.
they're protected, then just let me get on with what I'm doing. Just let me be just let me run the risk of catching COVID and being off my work for like a day and a half or 2 days.
Losing your sense of smell.
Yeah, losing my sense of smell.
Like some folk.
Can you smell now?
Aye, it's back now. It's all back.
There
now.
you go.
It was weird. It's really strange sensation though, because that was like the only thing. It wasn't a case of like, it was
You
weird.
didn't end up in a ventilator.
But could you imagine? COVID?
COVID.
You do
that to COVID.
Sounds like a guy. Sounds like a wee guy for the West End. Hey, Tovid, come here. Come on, Tovid.
Farquhar. Where's your brother Tovid?
Could you imagine like COVID took away your sense of sight though, instead of your sense of taste and smell?
Made
Takes
you
away your
blind.
fucking sense of sense. Sense of fucking common sense. I've had the COVID, but I've also had my 4 boosters. You've what?
Aye.
4 boosters and you had
It's
it.
interesting, man. I mean, each to their own. I think people just get it because their mates get it, you know, and they think they want to get on holiday and that.
And the
but-
number of folk that have said to me, I only got it to go on holiday, and then you were like, have you been anywhere nice? Nah, I've not been able to get
Aye.
away yet.
Well, see what I think. I say this to Gemma. I was like, honestly, I'm cool. See if we can't get on holiday like commercially, I'll just pay. I'll charter a flight to take us somewhere. That's how fucking stupid I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'll charter a plane.
No, you're on the big bucks now, aren't you?
Neil, who fucking makes fuck all money, is going to charter a plane for him and fucking 3 kids and his wife and 2 dogs.
It might be cheaper than you think because I'm pretty sure the airlines are struggling.
Well, I know a guy who fucking charters planes, man. It seems nice.
Aye.
You need a lot of money.
I think
More money than what
it'll get
I
cheaper.
make. You think so?
Aye. Well, all you need to do is make an NFT, sell that, and charter.
What you could do is get a load of anti-vaxxers together and then
you go
say,
and charter a
we'll
flight.
just want to go on holiday. If we can all decide we'll get a cheap flight, just get a plane with maybe 40 seats. Well, how many seats do planes come in? Do you know?
250.
All right. What's the weird
I don't
one?
know.
Yeah, a weird one.
A weird one, so a wee Learjet.
30, 40 people.
Aye, just fill it up.
Just fill it up and just split the
Probably
cost.
cost about 10 grand.
That's how
split it 30
Richard Branson started.
Was it?
That's his story anyway.
Just checking because I was vaping there.
Vape Lord.
Yes, popcorn lung. Right, let's end this one. Shall we end it? Yeah.
Okay, let's
Because we
end
need to
it. Let's
reset
end
for
it
the
all.
members
End
only.
it all.
If you want to watch members only, patreon.com/SMRE. If you sign up tonight, you won't pay anything until the 1st of January, which is incredible. You get a whole month free. And you'll be able to watch the live show that will follow this, where Neil and I will be on the casting couch with Cam.
That's
Bye.
See you later. Stop doubting.